Chapter 272. Sheng Minghui certainly couldn't defend herself now that she was caught in the act. Moreover, Sheng Xiao had promised her that he was just fulfilling his promise. So, even if Sheng Minghui cried and screamed, no one would sympathize with her. In fact, she had angered Mama Sheng. Sheng Minghui, I've always treated you well. But why do you have to go against Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao again and again? I really didn't expect you to be so vicious that you would let someone ruin Mu Qiqi's reputation in school. What good would that do to you? At first, I wanted to apologize to you for what my son did. But now that the truth is out, I really can't help but say that you deserve it. Father, don't blame me for being vicious. As an elder, I've always taken good care of Sheng Minghui. But I didn't expect that she would do this to my son and daughter-in-law. Even if your father was here today, you wouldn't be able to reason with him. Alright, aren't the two of them about the same thing? Turning the Sheng family upside down over such a small matter. In fact, what Grandpa Sheng wanted to say was that the whole family had turned into such a mess because of an outsider like Mu Qiqi. But he wasn't in the position to speak up for either Sheng Xiao or Sheng Minghui. In the end, he flung his sleeves and simply ignored it. Don't come to me with such things in the future. Just let it go. Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minghui fearlessly. If Sheng Minghui wanted to keep fighting, he would fight her to the end. You'll regret it one day when you treat your siblings like this because of an outsider. Helpless, Sheng Minghui could only return to her room angrily, while Sheng Xiao had to accept the rest of the Sheng family's nagging. Bastard. She's still my sister. How could she ruin someone's reputation like this? Papa Sheng cursed. In fact, everyone knew that if Sheng Xiao really wanted to ruin Sheng Minghui's reputation, he wouldn't have brought her to the Sheng family or let her lie in her bathtub. It was just to intimidate her and remind her to be self-conscious. Everyone knew that Sheng Minghui wouldn't be harmed in the Sheng family's territory. It's fine, Sheng Xiao. You didn't do anything wrong. Mama Sheng and her husband were opposing each other. He waved at Mu Qiqi. Let's go home, cheer. Moreover, before he left, he winked at Sheng Minglan, reminding her that she had to prepare what she needed in advance. Although they had a big fight with Sheng Minghui tonight, everyone knew that the one who really wanted to deal with Mu Qiqi was Grandpa Sheng. On the way home, Mu Qiqi stared at Sheng Xiao and said nothing for a long time, which forced Sheng Xiao to ask, "You've been peeking for so long. What do you want to say? We've only been engaged for a few days and you're already fighting with the Sheng family. You're in charge of the school's affairs and I'm in charge of the Sheng family's affairs. No matter how many times you cause trouble, someone has to restrain himself. Someone might be afraid, but I'm not afraid of trouble. But the Sheng family would lose even the slightest bit of kinship for me." Sheng Xiao snorted and parked the car in his garage. Do you think the Sheng family had that before you showed up? Xiao, it's getting late. Let's go home and sleep. Sheng Xiao got out of the car and entered Jingting. Mu Qiqi followed behind him. Suddenly, she stepped forward and hugged him tightly. Don't be angry. It's good that you know I'm angry. Sheng Xiao smiled slowly. You have to understand that if words work in the Sheng family, I won't target my own family. I won't give in to the people who hurt you. So when it's time to fight, I'll protect you as long as I live. I know. Mu Qiqi answered obediently. Only Sheng Xiao could make her submit to him willingly. Because this man did it for her and she had no right to question him. Even though she was afraid that Sheng Xiao would lose his family because of her. Hearing Mu Qiqi's answer, Sheng Xiao turned around and hooked his arm around Mu Qiqi's head. Then he lowered his head and kissed her. You heartless little thing. How am I heartless? Mu Qiqi reached out her hand and aroused the man's lust. Then it got out of hand. Sheng Xiao pressed her against the door and kissed her from the door to the living room. They fell on the sofa. Then Mu Qiqi turned around and said seductively, Don't move. Sheng Xiao did not move. He just looked at Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi found the man's sensitive spot and kissed him. Sheng Xiao's eyes changed color immediately. Little thing, you're asking for death. Shoo. Mu Qiqi stopped him and smiled at him. Tonight, I want to be the one on top. You? Sheng Xiao was disdainful. This little one was used to being served by him. Now she wanted to be the one taking the initiative? Let's go back to our room. On the other hand, Sheng Minghui was shivering in her room. She was afraid that another black man would appear in the room at any time. If that happened, her reputation would be ruined. She really did not expect Sheng Xiao to be so decisive. He would treat his sister like that just for Mu Qiqi. He was crazy. He was really crazy. Sheng Minghui was very unwilling. But what could she do when even Grandpa could not do anything to Sheng Xiao? Thinking of this, Sheng Minghui turned on all the lights in the room and locked the door. Xing Xiao, she would never forget this grudge. Just like that, Xing Minghui could not sleep for the whole night. She felt so wronged. She went to Grandpa Xing early in the morning to make a scene. Grandpa, if you don't control him, just wait and see. Xing Xiao will become more and more arrogant to his family because of Mu Qiqi. Isn't he just relying on the fact that he is the crown prince and you dote on him? As long as Grandpa gives him a lesson, I don't believe he will still be so arrogant. Of course, Grandpa Xing wanted to teach his grandson a lesson so that he would be more obedient. But Sheng Minghui's words were too kind. That's because you don't know how much business eighth brother can get for Huang Yao in a day. No matter how difficult the contract is, as long as eighth brother is involved, there's nothing he can't do. In this matter, Grandpa Sheng still protected his grandson. After all, as the young lady of the Sheng family, Sheng Minghui had never made any contribution. Grandpa, I really can't take this lying down. Chapter 273. There was nothing Sheng Minghui could do no matter how angry she was. Who asked her to be a girl? It was an indisputable fact that Grandpa Sheng favored Xing Xiao more. And since Grandpa Sheng told her to wait for a chance, she would wait. Your fourth sister is going to get engaged soon. You should calm down. Does that mean that fourth sister is with that Englishman? Sheng Minghui's attention was indeed diverted. Your fourth sister has agreed. What? Are you still not satisfied? Grandpa Sheng asked dangerously. Sheng Minghui quickly waved him off. Grandpa, you're wrong about that. Of course I wish fourth sister the best she can find her own happiness. She was not wishing Sheng Minghui well. She was clearly just watching the drama unfold. As a woman herself, how could she not know how upset Sheng Minglan was? Who would want to be a pawn and marry off to the head of some conglomerate? That better be the case. Grandpa Sheng snorted coldly. He had a detailed discussion with Sheng Minglan in the morning. Since Sheng Minglan had always been obedient and had never rejected him, Sheng Minglan decided to let him make the decision for this engagement. Minglan, Grandpa wants to see you happy the most. The world out there is too messed up. Look at who Xing Xiao is messing with. Sheng Minglan did not react, but she was sneering inwardly. A marriage alliance is a marriage alliance. Why bother with such pompous words to disgust people? I'll let you decide, Grandpa. Minglan, you're the one who gives me peace of mind. Unknowingly, she had started to feign civility with Grandpa Sheng. She clearly remembered that Grandpa Sheng doted on them when they were young, but everything changed after she became an adult. Grandpa Sheng was no longer the loving grandfather she used to be, and she was no longer naive and innocent. Sheng Minglan did not refuse anything. She did not even show any displeasure. Grandpa Sheng thought that she had accepted her fate. But only Xing Minglan and Xing Xiao knew what kind of show was waiting for him next. More importantly, Jing Yun was investigating the Englishman's background. He found out that he already had a daughter and was divorced once. Jing Yun showed the document to Xing Minglan. Xing Minglan had nothing to say but feel even more disgusted. Do you think Grandpa doesn't know about this? He knows. Miss Minglan, I'm fine. Xing Minglan took a deep breath and looked out the window. How much hope do you think I have for Grandpa? You still have young master to help you. This winter is really cold. Xing Minglan got up and walked to the French window. She looked at the withered leaves outside and felt sad. Jing Yun, you should go back. I know what I should do. I won't be soft-hearted. Jing Yun nodded and returned to his room. Although he was indebted to the Sheng family, he hated Grandpa Sheng's way of doing things. He just didn't have the right to be calculative. Now that Xing Minglan was in such a predicament, he would certainly do his best. If that Englishman had not been married twice, he might not have been so determined to use all his savings to help Xing Minglan. What kind of grandfather would sell out his granddaughter like that? The next day Xing Xiao got the news from Jing Yun. After reading the information he snorted. That's more like the old man. Young master, will fourth Mrs. Plan be foolproof? No plan is foolproof. But we will try our best to minimize the risk. Jing Yun nodded. He took out a gold card from his pocket and put it in front of Xing Xiao. I don't know how to help Miss Minglan. This is all the savings I have in the Xing family over the years. I hope it can help Miss Minglan. But if I give it to her, she will definitely not accept it. So, Xing Xiao looked at the gold card on the table with interest. You want me to help you? Young master, I didn't ask you for anything. I just hope that Miss Minglan will not marry that man who has been married twice. Otherwise, everything will be meaningless. Xing Xiao crossed his legs and clasped his hands together. He looked at Jing Yun with interest. It's not difficult for me to help you. Just tell me if you like fourth sister. I will help you without hesitation. Young master, why do you have to force me? Then give it to me yourself. Yes. Jing Yun answered simply. I've liked Miss Minglan since a long time ago. But I know it's just wishful thinking. You're still not being honest in front of me. Sheng Xiao put away the gold card and looked at Jing Yun. I will do it for you. Thank you, young master. But you have already taken out all your savings. Do you have any plans for the future? I can still earn more. Sheng Xiao looked at the gold card in his hand. He knew that there was a lot of money in it. Because Jing Yun had been working for him all these years, his salary was already very good. Moreover, with Jing Yun's own investment, the money in the card could be 8 or 9 figures. If he did such a thing without letting fourth sister know, would someone as foolish as Jing Yun still have to smile and marry someone else in the future? But Sheng Xiao knew very well that it would not be easy for a blockhead like Jing Yun to take the initiative. At night, when Mu Qiqi returned home, she saw a gold card in front of Sheng Xiao. She immediately said, I have enough money to spend, you overconfident little thing. Jing Yun wants to give this to fourth sister. Sheng Xiao told Mu Qiqi. So, Jing Yun really likes fourth sister, right? Mu Qiqi climbed up Sheng Xiao's legs and wrapped her arms around his neck. But from the looks of it now, Jing Yun would not add to fourth sister's burden even if he dies. So he won't say anything. What a stubborn fool. Ask fourth sister for a drink with this card and ask her to accept it. Sheng Xiao buried his head in Mu Qiqi's chest. Consider it as fulfilling that fool's wish. Then shouldn't we tell fourth sister at all? What if she really likes someone else in the future? That's his own fault, Yi Zichen said. Mu Qiqi thought long and hard, but couldn't decide if she should help. Sheng Minglan didn't appear to be able to accept a relationship between a younger brother and a sister. Even if they were only 2 or 3 years apart, she only treated him as a younger brother. But what if fourth sister was like Jing Yun and kept it a secret? Still, she was afraid that if she exposed the matter, they would not be able to be friends anymore. Why was Jing Yun so infatuated? I'm really defeated by Jing Yun's cautiousness. I still want to help him test fourth sister. Mu Qiqi said to Sheng Xiao, unconvinced. Xiao, help me think of something. You called me the wrong person. Sheng Xiao reminded her. Chapter 274. Sheng Xiao stroked Mu Qiqi's head and looked like he was enjoying it. There's no other way. Just drink with fourth sister a few more times, and she will naturally open her heart to you. Mu Qiqi knew that she had been tricked. She quickly pushed Sheng Xiao away and got off his lap. Boring. Seeing that, Sheng Xiao quickly pulled her down and pinned her on his lap to give her a spanking. Little one, your temper is getting worse. You're the one who taught me. Talking about me is the same as talking about yourself. Sheng Xiao was speechless. She was asking for it. Soon, Grandpa Sheng called the Sheng family for dinner. The reason was simple. He was going to announce Sheng Minglan's engagement to a British tycoon who owned a high-end fashion empire. Of course, when they got engaged, the two super corporations would also sign a strategic partnership agreement. It was literally selling his granddaughter. In Grandpa Sheng's eyes, it was double happiness. Mu Qiqi was there too. She looked at Sheng Minglan worriedly when she heard Grandpa Sheng's announcement. Fourth sister, on the other hand, did not react at all. She appeared especially calm. It will be on the 8th of next month, before Huang Yao's event. Minglan, you must be prepared. Sheng Minglan put down her cutlery and nodded at Grandpa Sheng's instructions. I know, Grandpa. Congratulations, fourth sister. You've got such a good marriage. Seventh sister raised her wine glass and congratulated Sheng Minglan. Now that fourth sister is married, it's your turn. Seventh sister, I congratulate you too. They clinked glasses, but neither of them was sincerely congratulating Sheng Minglan. On the other hand, seventh sister did not bother Mu Qiqi that night. She was restraining herself and quietly waiting for the opportunity that Grandpa Sheng had mentioned. Of course, she did not expect that the opportunity would come so soon. Everyone in the Sheng family had different thoughts during dinner, and it was tasteless. After dinner, Mu Qiqi stopped Sheng Minglan and winked at her. Fourth sister, let's go to Jingting for a drink tonight. Eighth brother is willing to let me take away your good night. Of course. It's not like I'm holding him up. She would not stop exercising just because she was drunk. Sheng Minglan nodded and left the house with Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao. Old Sheng saw that and asked Mama Sheng, fourth sister seems to be quite close to Mu Qiqi. Isn't she? It's already so late, yet you're still following me out. Fourth sister is a gentle child. Because of her gentleness, she keeps all her troubles to herself. She and Mu Qiqi are kindred spirits. Do you mind if they talk to each other occasionally? Mama Sheng knew Grandpa Sheng's weakness very well. Everyone in the family knew that the Englishman had remarried. Sheng Minglan agreed on the surface, but it did not mean that she felt good inside. Grandpa Sheng was speechless. But at the same time he found a way to teach Mu Chichi a lesson. Since that's the case, let them be. But when they returned to the study, Grandpa Sheng went to look for Papa Sheng. He sat on the chair and asked him, Huang Yao's VVIP night this year hasn't been decided yet, right? Dad, what do you think? Currently, the planning department has yet to submit a proposal. As you know, every year the VVIP night would cause dissatisfaction among the super members. The planning department is also at their wits' end when it comes to dealing with those rich wives. So, I think it's safer to do it the usual way. Let Mu Chichi handle this year's event. What? Papa Sheng was stunned. Dad, Mu Chichi is just a student. She doesn't know anything. How can she take on such a heavy responsibility? But she is also Sheng Zhao's fiancée. Sheng Xiao is the crown prince of Huang Yao and his future wife. How can she know nothing about the family business? She is a member of the Shen family. Let her test the waters. If she can't do it, it's not too late for you to do it the usual way. For a moment, Papa Sheng thought that Grandpa Sheng must be out of his mind to let Mu Chichi handle such a thing. Mu Chichi, she was just a student of forensic science. What did she know? Did she know diamonds? Did she know how to run a business? Did she know how to run a business? Just do as I say. I want to see if Mu Chichi has the talent in this field and whether she can help Sheng Xiao a little. Dad, are you really going to admit Mu Chichi's identity? It's true that she is a member of the Shen family. But her background always makes me feel uncomfortable. Especially when she grew up in the Mu family. Don't you feel scared when Sheng Xiao pampers her? There must be a reason why I asked you to arrange it. Just do it. The old man didn't explain too much. Papa Sheng took a deep breath. In the end, he could only nod and do as he was told. I understand. Even so, Papa Sheng still felt that it was a fantasy. Why did Grandpa Sheng make such an arrangement? He had two reasons. First, it was to break Mu Chichi's confidence. He wanted her to know that she could not stay by Sheng Zhao's side for a long time. Second, if Mu Chichi succeeded, he would give the credit to Xing Minghui. It would lay the foundation for Xing Minghui to work in Huang Yao. In short, whether it was a success or a failure, it was a trap that Grandpa Sheng had dug for Mu Chichi. Meanwhile, Mu Chichi and the others had just returned to Jingting. After Sheng Xiao made room for the two ladies, he went to the study so that they could have a heart-to-heart talk. Holding the goblet, Mu Chichi put the gold card on the table and pushed it to Sheng Minglan. This is a little gift from me and Xiao Xiao. Consider it a stake in your company. Sheng Minglan's eyes darkened. But she did not take it. I don't need money. The stronger you are, the greater your chance of winning. Even if you don't use it, you can keep it by your side to protect yourself. That way Xiao Xiao and I can rest assured. Xiao Qi, fourth sister, I don't have many friends. I'm used to being bullied since I was young. People around me always laugh at me. Then I met Qian Qian. But you must have heard about what happened to her. We can't meet often because I don't want to hurt her eyes with my happiness. And now you are the only one I can talk to. If you refuse, I will think that you don't really treat me as a family. Xing Minglan thought about it. Then she nodded. I'll let Xing Xiao buy the shares. Let the lawyer distribute the shares. I don't care how you use it. Mu Chichi smiled when she saw that Xing Minglan had accepted the money. They clinked glasses. Actually, you can go out and make friends. Does Xing Xiao want to restrict your freedom? Chapter 275. You see him as your whole life. Isn't Xing Xiao your first love? Yeah, fourth sister. Tell me about your first love too. Mu Chichi went with the flow and asked Xing Minglan. I already know about my relationship with that scumbag. It doesn't count. But I only have that relationship. Xing Minglan suddenly chuckled. You're lying. Mu Chichi lied. Which girl doesn't have a Prince Charming when they're young? Xing Minglan hugged the bottle of red wine and thought for a long time. Finally, she remembered the night she first met Jing Yun. Do you know how I felt when I first met Jing Yun? She suddenly mentioned Jing Yun. Mu Chichi perked up at once. I've never seen such a beautiful boy. Even Xing Xiao can't compare to him. Xing Xiao only became handsome after he grew up, but Jing Yun has always been beautiful. I think I brought him home because he's handsome. Xing Minglan chuckled. As for the rest, she had a vague impression of the man. Memories are always so beautiful. That's why you remember it so clearly, fourth sister. Xing Minglan smiled sweetly as if she had returned to that time. Mu Chichi knew that fourth sister might have had feelings for Jing Yun all along, although she herself didn't know what kind of feelings it was. Soon the two women were drunk. Xing Xiao went to the living room after his shower. He shook his head and was convinced. Little one, you really know how to find alcohol. You're drinking like a cow that costs millions. Then he carried Mu Chichi back to the bedroom and called Jing Yun. Fourth sister is drunk in Jing Ting. Come and take care of her. Young master, I still have a drunk little one in my hand. Do you understand? Jing Yun had no choice but to leave the Xing family's house. When he reached Jing Ting, he carried Xing Minglan to the bed in the guest room. That was when Xing Minglan vaguely opened her eyes. When she saw the beautiful boy in front of her, she couldn't help reaching out and caressing Jing Yun's face. You're still as handsome as before. Jing Yun did a double take. He didn't know what she was talking about, so he simply tucked her in and stayed by her side. Upstairs, Xing Xiao was bathing the drunkard. Although he was the one who asked this little thing to be a spy, seeing this little thing vomit made his heart ache. I won't let you drink anymore. Mu Chichi grunted and fell into Xing Xiao's arms. She soon fell into a deep sleep because of the alcohol. Xing Xiao did nothing and quietly returned to the living room to clean up the mess. Xing Minglan woke up when the sun was rising. She couldn't help but feel touched when she saw that Jing Yun was still by her side. Slowly, Jing Yun opened his eyes to find Xing Minglan sitting on the edge of the bed without saying a word. Lowering his head, he helped her put on her shoes. Miss Minglan, do you feel uncomfortable? Actually, I don't need you to guard me. Jing Ting should be very safe. You have to go home when you wake up. Try not to drive after drinking. Jing Yun found a perfect excuse. If there's a next time, you can sleep in another room. You feel uncomfortable lying here. Okay. Jing Yun agreed. He saw the gold card in Xing Minglan's pocket, so she accepted it. Thinking of this, he felt a little relieved. He quietly left Jing Ting with Xing Minglan. But he didn't expect that Aunt Wu would come to Jing Ting so early to make breakfast. Aunt Wu was confused when she saw them coming out of the guest room. She must have misunderstood. Assistant Jing, is she your girlfriend? Jing Yun was about to explain when Xing Xiao came downstairs in his formal attire. Aunt Wu, please prepare 2 more sets of cutlery. Yes, Mr. Sheng. Xing Xiao did it on purpose. He didn't give Jing Yun a chance to explain. Xing Minglan couldn't help but stare at him. Why do you always ask Jing Yun to come and take care of me? I don't feel at ease letting others enter Jing Ting. Besides, isn't Jing Yun upright enough? Xing Xiao shrugged and brushed Xing Minglan off. Let's go back after breakfast. Aunt Wu has prepared everything anyway. Xing Minglan blushed. She sat down at the dining table. Xing Xiao and Jing Yun followed suit. Your servant must have misunderstood. Our relationship, just let it be. Aunt Wu is already so old. Why do you need to explain? Xing Xiao looked at Xing Minglan and said. Moreover, Aunt Wu is not a meddlesome person. She doesn't like to talk too much. Xing Minglan stopped talking. She didn't know why, but she suddenly didn't dare to look at Jing Yun's expression. Just like that, the atmosphere became awkward. Obviously, they could get along very naturally in the past. Because of the intimacy they had in the past 2 nights, she suddenly felt that she should keep a distance from Jing Yun. Xing Xiao glanced at them. At the same time, Jing Yun received a call from Papa Sheng. It was because Grandpa Sheng wanted Mu Chichi to be in charge of the VVIP night in Huangyao. So he gave the order the next morning. Jing Yun frowned after he heard it. There were so many Shengs in the family. There was also a planning department. It was impossible for Mu Chichi to be in charge of this. But Grandpa Sheng wanted Mu Chichi to be in charge? Young master, there's trouble. Xing Xiao glanced at Jing Yun. There was a sharp light in his eyes. Then he learned the content of Papa Sheng's call from Jing Yun. What is Grandpa trying to do? Xing Minglan was puzzled. This is a hot potato. Handing it to Xiao Qi? What is he trying to do? Nominally, he wants to test Qi-er's ability. But in fact, he wants to tell Qi-er to back off. If she doesn't do it well, how would Qi-er have any face in the Sheng family? Don't you think 7th sister would use this against her? Xing Xiao snorted coldly. Then what should we do? Grandpa has already arranged it. Then do it. Xing Xiao said calmly. But Xiao Qi doesn't have any experience. 4th sister, you don't know Qi-er. Do you think a person who dabbles in physics and chemistry doesn't have the ability and talent? Xing Xiao asked in return. So what if she doesn't have experience? I'll just teach her. If you teach her and succeed, Grandpa will give the credit to you because you are the crown prince of Huangyao. Xiao Qi won't be recognized. But they had oversimplified the whole thing. Because Grandpa Sheng wanted to give all the credit to Xing Minghui. Of course, the premise was that Mu Chichi could really hold an outstanding VVIP night. Chapter 276. The few of them were in full swing, but the person involved in this matter was still kept in the dark. completely ignorant. I know how to take care of my own people. You just need to focus on your engagement. You don't have to worry about anything else. Sheng Xiao told Xing Minglan not to be distracted. Since Grandpa Xing wanted to make things difficult for Chier, he would wait and see. In fact, he also wanted to know what new things the little one could come up with. He never interfered with the planning department's affairs. Therefore, other than attending Huang Yao's events, he rarely asked about them. As for the VVIP night, there had been countless teams, but the smell of gunpowder seemed to have become a tradition of the VVIP night. Every year on this day there would be some extremely unpleasant cases. No wonder Papa Xing only wanted to do it normally to reduce the risk. Since you are so confident, I can only look forward to it. I'm afraid the little one will explode if she knows. The three of them could not help but laugh. Sheng Minglan was really envious of the relationship between Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi. Although they were 8 years apart and were uncle and niece, they never had to bear the shackles. If they loved each other, they would treat each other as their own lives. After breakfast, Sheng Minglan and Jing Yun left. Only then did Mu Qiqi get up lazily. Xing Xiao had been laughing ever since she came down the stairs. He did not stop even when she sat down. Mu Qiqi sat on his lap, puzzled. What are you up to? It's not me. It's someone else. With that, he chuckled again and Mu Qiqi became even more curious. I'll tell you after you finish eating. Of course, the news spread all over the Sheng family the next day. They all thought that Grandpa Sheng was crazy. How could he give such a difficult task to a girl who did not know anything? Wouldn't Huang Yao become a joke in the eyes of others? Sheng Minghui went straight to the garden to look for Grandpa Sheng. Grandpa, didn't you say that Mu Qiqi can never enter the Sheng family? Why are you? I'm doing this to pave the way for you. Grandpa Sheng answered her while sipping his coffee. If Mu Qiqi does well in the event, you will get the credit. So, don't interfere in this. How could she do it well? Don't forget she has 8th brother. In the past, 8th brother never cared about the planning. This time I'm sure he won't either. Grandpa Xing pushed his glasses up and said to 7th brother, as long as the event is successful, you can use this credit to enter Huang Yao. Sheng Minghui's face turned into a flattering one. Grandpa, I knew it. You are the best to me. So, don't bother Mu Qiqi this time. Sheng Minghui was about to reply when she saw Jing Yun and Xing Minglan returning from outside. She was immediately suspicious. Grandpa, why is 4th sister always with Sheng Zhao's assistant? 4th sister's engagement is just around the corner. It would be bad if there were any bad rumors. 4th sister was at Jingting last night, so of course 8th brother sent Jing Yun to pick her up. Why are your thoughts so complicated? Grandpa Xing snorted. I'm just thinking about 4th sister's reputation. I won't worry even if you have half of Jing Yun's ability, let alone 8th brother. Although Grandpa Xing did not say it out loud, he still went to Jing Yun and asked him about it. I saw you and Minglan coming back together this morning. What happened? Young master called me to pick 4th sister up. She was drunk and couldn't drive. Okay. As expected, Grandpa Xing was satisfied with Jing Yun's explanation. If that's the case, you can go. But Minglan's engagement is just around the corner. You must keep a distance from her since there is a gap in status. I know, Chairman. Jing Yun nodded. Because of the gap in status, Jing Yun would try his best to control himself. He only hoped that Xing Minglan could be happy. He was willing to do anything else. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi's head was about to explode when she learned that she had been entrusted with such an important task. So, your grandpa wants me, a student who is learning how to dissect a human body, to participate in Huang Yao's event? Mu Qiqi pointed at her nose to confirm with Xing Xiao. Is his brain damaged? His brain is not damaged. He is very smart. Xing Xiao smiled. Then why didn't you stop him? Xing Xiao comforted his little one while kissing her hair. Now that the whole Xing family knows about it, how could he take it back? And as my fiancé, it is perfectly reasonable for you to participate in Huang Yao's event. Moreover, the holidays are coming soon. You have time. Just treat it as a social practice. I am a forensic doctor. I cut up corpses. I don't need social practice like planning an event. Just try it. Xing Xiao insisted. Why do I smell a conspiracy? Mu Qiqi felt something was wrong. But since you think I can do it, I will try it. But first, don't blame it on me if I mess it up. Grandpa Xing is waiting for you to blame it on him. Mu Qiqi turned and wanted to glare at him. But Xing Xiao quickly added, but I won't give him the chance. That's more like it. Show me the information. After I finish my homework, I will try to plan it. Grandpa Xing just wants to see me embarrass myself. It's not a big deal. So, in the end, Mu Chichi gladly accepted the dilemma. After all, she really wanted to prove to Grandpa Sheng and the Sheng family that she had the ability to match Xiao Xiao. But what she did not know was that Grandpa Sheng was paving the way for his granddaughter. He only wanted to humiliate or use her, and had no intention of acknowledging her at all. To put it bluntly, she was making a wedding dress for someone else. By the way, I have something to tell you. I think Jing Yun has a place in Fourth Sister's heart. Meanwhile, in the office of Xing Minglan's new company, the lawyer came up with his answer a few hours after Xing Minglan had asked him to investigate the source of the funds on the gold card. Miss Xing, the owner of the gold card, is not the crown prince. What do you mean? The owner of the card is called Zhao Lin. But I couldn't find any information about her. That is why I am worried that the source of the funds is not clean. The lawyer told Xing Minglan. You should ask the crown prince. Xing Minglan nodded and called Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao, who is Zhao Lin? What? You asked Mu Chichi to transfer the gold card to me. The owner is called Zhao Lin. Don't you want to tell me who the money is? Xing Minglan noticed the problem. Chapter 277. What the hell is going on? Xing Minglan was shocked when she saw the amount. If it wasn't Xing Xiao, who else could come up with such a huge sum of money? Of course it was just a small amount for Huang Yao. But for her, such a sum of money was like a hot potato in her hand. The reason why the money is not under my name is to prevent Grandpa Sheng from finding out. So he used someone else's account. Or do you want others to know that we are in an alliance? But you are not familiar with this Zhao Lin just now. Fourth sister, you know what kind of person your brother is? He only remembers the important people. Of course he needs to react to these unimportant people. Xing Xiao answered smoothly. If you think that I am not thinking clearly, I will change my gold card. No need. My lawyer is just trying to figure out the source of the money. It is their job. Since Xing Xiao had explained, Xing Minglan had no reason to doubt him. She said to the lawyer, the money is not a problem. Okay, Miss Xing. Since it was Xing Xiao who gave it to her, Xing Minglan had no reason to doubt him. She had already called him. She should be relieved. But she did not know why, but she felt that something was not right. On the other hand, when Xing Xiao answered the call, Jing Yun was beside him. When he saw Xing Xiao put down his phone, he quickly thanked his young master. Thank you, young master. You used your money and it became my shares. What do you have to thank me for? Xing Xiao mocked him. Jing Yun did not say anything. His purpose was simple. He wanted to increase Xing Minglan's leverage against Grandpa Sheng. Silly? Xing Xiao seemed to remember someone saying that those who looked cold were actually fanatical for one person. That saying had been proven true by Jing Yun. Soon night fell. Mu Chichi returned home from school and had dinner with Xing Xiao. Then she went to Xing Xiao's study. Xing Xiao looked away from the computer and looked at her. Don't you need to prepare for the final exam? Everything is ready. Mu Chichi put down the documents in her hand. She propped her head on her hand and looked at the man beside her. He was wearing a dark blue turtleneck sweater. He looked so handsome. You didn't look when I took off my clothes, but now you want more. Xing Xiao sneered and turned off the computer. He hugged her and asked, Tell me, what do you want? Why is it that every year during Huang Yao's VVIP night, something unpleasant always happens? I want to know the root of the problem. That way I can find a cure for it. Xing Xiao never bothered to read the reports from the planning department. To him, there was no need for the planning department to exist. The proposals they submitted were always for insurance. There was no innovation to speak of. We have to start from a pair of high-class customers of Huang Yao. The daughters-in-law of the Lu family are sworn enemies. Although they are Huang Yao's most loyal customers, they are also a big trouble. Every year on the VVIP night, the two of them would compete with each other. I still don't quite understand. Mu Chichi sat on Xing Xiao and listened carefully to his story. Every year, Huang Yao invites the top 50 VIPs to attend the VVIP banquet, and this pair of rich wives have been fighting for the first place for years. Are they fighting because of each other's husbands? No. The eldest Mrs. Lu was the wife of the second son of the Lu family. But the second son cheated on her and slept with another woman. After they divorced, the second son married his current wife, and the eldest Mrs. Lu married the second son's eldest brother. So that's how it works. Mu Chichi was amazed. So, it was understandable that the two women would fight each other every day. However, the VVIP night of Huang Yao was a founding tradition. It could not be cancelled just because of the two women. But, the two of them always moved the battlefield to the VVIP night. That was why the planning department was so nervous. They burned incense every day, hoping that the night would be peaceful. It's basically a dead end. The people of Huangyao have racked their brains but could not find a solution. The planning department is always in a mess on this day every year. But this year they will probably set off firecrackers because Grandpa Sheng has found a new target. It's not their fault. Grandpa is just too evil. Mu Qiqi could not help but pout. How could he put such a difficult task on me? What else do you think? Sheng Xiao pinched the tip of Mu Qiqi's nose. Then, are the two brothers of the Lu family not getting along? Not really. The Lu family just watched them fight over the years and did not do anything. Sheng Xiao explained and laughed when he saw Mu Qiqi fall silent. So, are you confident enough to solve it? Such a deep grudge. It's not easy. Mu Qiqi rested her chin on her hand and pretended to think. Little one, you still have time to think. Mu Qiqi nodded. She had a feeling that many big things were about to happen. Then, is there no activity in Huangyao this Christmas? It's a regular activity. So, I can spend Christmas with you this year. With that, Sheng Xiao turned Mu Qiqi's head and kissed her on the lips. It was soft, sticky and very tasty. Of course, Mu Qiqi was not in a hurry at all. There were so many people in the planning department who could not come up with a solution. She could not solve it immediately. She was not a god. Still, when Sheng Xiao's kiss deepened, she suddenly put a finger over his lips. I want the information on the two young masters of the Lu family. You can see it when you come home from school tomorrow. Mu Qiqi was satisfied. Only then did she throw away the information in her hand and return Sheng Xiao's kiss. In 2 days it would be her birthday. She remembered how she had to fight for Mu Tongshua's love and warmth last year. Now, a year had passed and she still did not receive any love from the Mu family. But now she had a fiancé by her side. Mu Qiqi could only hope that time could slow down when she remembered how hard it was to get this moment of happiness. Just a little slower. Soon the study became a playground for the two of them. Winter in Jianchuan was not especially cold, but there were bone-chilling winds. Late at night, Jing Yun saw the Englishman sending Xing Minglan home from the balcony of his room. He automatically moved away, only to find Xing Minglan appearing at his door moments later. Can we have a chat inside? Jing Yun did a double take and nodded. But not next time. You are the fourth daughter of the Sheng family, and I am just a little assistant. Jing Yun, you know that I have never looked down on you. I know. But fourth miss, gossip is a fearful thing. Chapter 278. You misunderstood me, seventh sister? Jing Yun explained calmly. I wouldn't have misunderstood you if you didn't say that. After all, you have been with the Sheng family for so many years and fourth sister was the one who brought you here. I think it's normal for you two to be close. Now that you put it that way, I don't understand. What did I misunderstand? Xing Minghui shrugged as she asked the two of them and entered Jing Yun's room. When she saw the gifts on Jing Yun's desk, she knew who gave them to him. She couldn't help smiling. Jing Yun, you really care about fourth sister, don't you? Fourth sister is my savior. It's good that you don't have any improper thoughts. You should know that fourth sister is not someone an orphan like you can reach. That's enough. Sheng Minglan scolded Xing Minghui. You should know whose assistant this person is standing in front of you. I know. You should look at the owner before beating a dog. Xing Minghui laughed and walked out of the room. Then I won't disturb you anymore. Xing Minglan was very angry, but Jing Yun stopped her. There's no need to fight with her because of me. But in my heart, you and Xing Xiao are the same. That's enough. Jing Yun let go of Xing Minglan's hand. Go back and rest, fourth sister. Jing Yun's place is not a place you should stay for long. You're getting engaged soon. Xing Minglan nodded helplessly. Then rest early. Tell Xing Xiao if you have any grievances. I know. Xing Minglan turned and walked out of Jing Yun's room, and Jing Yun quickly closed the door. He was afraid that he could not hold back his feelings, and with Xing Minghui's humiliation, he could not stay in the Xing family any longer. Not only that, Xing Minghui was clearly not going to let the matter pass just like that, because she was good at making a mountain out of a molehill. To not put Xing Minglan in a difficult position, Jing Yun quickly called Xing Xiao. Young master, Xing Xiao answered Jing Yun after hearing everything. Go to the old man right away and tell him that you're moving out of the Xing family so that seventh sister won't go there and stir up trouble. If you go to the old man first, seventh sister will become the culprit who forced you out, and the old man won't forgive her. Also, the villa that my mother prepared before, I'll transfer it to you. In the future, deduct it from the shares and consider it as me selling it to you. I understand, young master. Mu Qiqi was beside Xing Xiao when he answered the call. She could hear how considerate he was about Jing Yun's feelings, and thought that was probably why Jing Yun was willing to follow Xing Xiao. This man was really meticulous. On the other hand, Jing Yun immediately took action after hanging up. He went to Grandpa Sheng's study in the middle of the night and asked for an audience. Jing Yun, it's so late. What's the matter? Chairman, I don't think I can stay with the Sheng family anymore. Please allow me to leave. Jing Yun went straight to the point when he saw the old man. Why is that? Although Grandpa Sheng had verbally reminded Jing Yun of his identity, it did not mean that he did not approve of Jing Yun. Miss Minghui came to my room tonight and saw Miss Minghui. With that, Grandpa Sheng understood what Jing Yun meant. What nonsense is Xing Minghui spouting this time? You're brought here by fourth sister, so it's only natural that you two would be closer. Moreover, you're at home. What nonsense could Xing Minghui spout? Miss Minghui is about to get engaged. I don't want her reputation to be tarnished and I don't want to complicate things. That's why I hope that you can grant my request, Chairman. Jing Yun, you should know that Grandpa Sheng has always treated you like his own grandson. If you want to move out, I'll find a place for you. There's no need, Chairman. Young Master has already arranged it. Jing Yun replied, but his tone was polite. That was what Xing Xiao had told her. She must show her disappointment in front of Grandpa Sheng. That was the only way to hurt him. Alright, if this will make you feel better, then do it. With Grandpa Sheng's consent, Xing Xiao moved out of Xing Mansion overnight without informing anyone, not even Xing Minglan. The next day, Xing Minghui was still spreading rumors in the Xing family, saying that Xing Minglan and Jing Yun were really close, and were meeting each other late at night. When Grandpa Sheng heard about it during breakfast, he slammed his hand on the table. Stand up, Xing Minghui. Grandpa? Xing Minghui was bewildered, but she could still feel Grandpa Sheng's rage and had to get up from her seat. What nonsense are you spreading about fourth sister and Jing Yun? Grandpa, fourth sister is the young lady of the Sheng family, and Jing Yun is just an orphan. Aren't they afraid of people gossiping about them meeting in the middle of the night? You're still talking? Grandpa Sheng was so angry that he hit Xing Minghui with his walking stick. You forced Jing Yun away last night, and you're still not satisfied? Jing Yun was brought back by fourth sister, and he has worked hard for the Sheng family for so many years without a single complaint. His contributions to Huang Yao are not something you can imagine. You don't even have a third of his ability, and you're still trying to show off? Grandpa, she left last night because she was afraid that you would spread rumors and ruin fourth sister's reputation. Now, I thought that you would stop, but I didn't expect that you would become even worse. You don't have to eat breakfast. Go back to your room, I don't want to see you. Grandpa Sheng was really angry, which was why he gave the order. However, it was a different feeling for Xing Minglan. She rose to her feet and before Xing Minghui could leave, slapped her across the face, startling everyone in the Xing family. Especially Grandpa Sheng. I'm your sister. What have I done to you that you would spread rumors about me? Xing Minghui could not say anything, knowing that she was in the wrong. It's fine that you forced Jing Yun away, Xing Minghui. I won't be polite to you as your sister from now on. With that, Xing Minghui left the dining table. Everyone could feel that she was angry and she did have a reason to be angry. Xing Minghui could only go back to her room and smash things on the floor. Why is everyone against me? What? Don't you have any F***king idea? On the other hand, Xing Minglan went to Jing Yun's room and found that he had taken away his gifts aside from a change of clothes. And just like that, he left the Xing family's house without a word. As for the slap just now, it would be more accurate to say that it was for Jing Yun rather than for her. He moved away just like that, without even saying goodbye. Chapter 279. Jing Yun never thought about affecting Xing Minglan in any way, because he never thought that he was that important to her. Now that he was outside and had his own home, it was actually quite good. At the very least, he didn't have to worry about anything. Soon Xing Minglan called Xing Xiao, her voice urgent. Eighth brother, where did Jing Yun go? He's my assistant. Where else could he go? But he won't be staying at the Xing family's house anymore, lest people gossip. Aren't you moving out soon? What? Are you worried about Jing Yun? He was forced away by seventh sister because of me. It's good that you know. Xing Xiao did not explain. It was his plan because he wanted Xing Minglan to feel guilty. That way, it would be a little consolation for that sentimental person. Promise me, eighth brother. Take good care of Jing Yun. He's doing fine. The Sheng family might not know Jing Yun's ability, but Xing Xiao did. After all these years, he had never met anyone in Huang Yao who was more suitable than Jing Yun for his father's position. Either way, promise me. All right, I promise you. Sheng Zhao's lips curled into a smile despite his reply. Sheng Minglan was anxious because she had feelings for Jing Yun, even if it wasn't love right now. Of course, Sheng Xiao did not forget to tell Jing Yun about Sheng Minglan's worries, because he knew how precious that little bit of psychological comfort was to Jing Yun. Schedule all my time tomorrow. I'll celebrate Chier's birthday with her. Got it? Jing Yun nodded. Now that you've moved out and fourth sister is about to move out, haven't you thought about finding a chance to express your feelings to her? Sheng Xiao was very anxious. He could not understand why he couldn't keep the woman he liked by his side. Who would care about him if he just protected her quietly like that when she marries? Jing Yun remained calm. He had resigned himself to his fate, believing that it was his destiny to protect Sheng Minglan. Of course it was absurd for Sheng Xiao. Whether he was the crown prince of the Sheng family or an orphan like Jing Yun, he would keep her by his side as long as he was sure of that person. Sheng Xiao did not say much when he saw that Jing Yun was so stubborn. After all, EQ really differed from person to person. Still, Mu Qiqi was as angry as Sheng Minglan when she heard about Jing Yun. What had Sheng Minglan ever done for the Sheng family? In the end, Jing Yun was bullied by her. That was why Sheng Minglan's slap was so satisfying. At night, Mu Qiqi was reading the information in the study again. Sheng Xiao had promised her that he would show her the background of the two young masters of the Lu family. Mu Qiqi tossed and turned and suddenly sighed. This young master of the Lu family is actually a little like you. He couldn't bear to see his sister-in-law suffer, so he gave her a new identity and a chance for revenge. Although it's a little strange for two brothers to sleep with one person, he doesn't care about the body. He cares about the soul. So, I think there's still a chance to turn things around. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and asked her interestedly, "What's the basis of your judgment? Or is it just your intuition?" Think about it, Xiao Xiao. This eldest madam has no background and would not benefit eldest young master's business. But why did eldest young master not interfere with his wife all these years and let her take revenge on her sister-in-law? It's simple. Without love and waiting, I don't believe any man could do what he did. So, I think we can start with eldest young master. I believe he wants his wife to let go of her grudge and live a new life. Wanna bet? Then how are you going to do it? That's not for you to ask. What you need to do is to make things convenient for me. Mu Qiqi said confidently. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The Lu family's matter is also related to the VVIP night of Huang Yao. If you can really solve it, I'll take care of everything else. You said it. Mu Qiqi pointed at Sheng Zhao's nose and promised. Sheng Xiao held her hand and nodded. I said it. I mean it. Soon they were kissing. Anyway, no matter where they were or what they were discussing, this man always had a way to turn the place into a place of pleasure. He was really shameless. But Mu Qiqi was already used to it. Anyway, she was satisfied with a man's love. This time, they only stopped when it was late at night. After Sheng Xiao took Mu Qiqi for a bath, they lay on the bed. It was snowing outside the window. Mu Qiqi felt a chill and quickly burrowed into Sheng Xiao's arms. It was Christmas Eve. Just when Mu Qiqi was half asleep, Sheng Xiao suddenly kissed her forehead and whispered, "Happy birthday, little one." Mu Qiqi opened her eyes and revealed her snow-white arms. Where's my present? Mu Qiqi was just joking, but unexpectedly Sheng Xiao really put something in her hand. Mu Qiqi took it and sat up. There was a necklace in her palm. The two ends of the necklace were in the shape of wings, delicate and cute. And the pendant was, "This is my heart." Who would make a necklace in the shape of a heart so simply and crudely? Mu Qiqi smiled as she studied the necklace. The pendant was indeed in the shape of a heart, but it was encased in white diamonds. From afar, it looked like an irregular stone, and it had a different kind of beauty. Because she was a medical student, she could recognize it at a glance. But most people would rather see it as an irregular white diamond. The world is so big. You can't get any luxurious jewelry you want. But this pendant is a miniature version of my heart. I'm giving it to you for safekeeping. Mu Qiqi felt sweet inside. She held the necklace tightly. I'll protect it. Happy birthday. I'm happy every day with you. Mu Qiqi could not hold back her tears. Xiao Xiao, don't leave me. Don't ever leave me, okay? Congratulations. You're 19, little one. With that, Sheng Xiao kissed her again. Even if Mu Qiqi was exhausted, she only wanted to respond to this man, the man she was deeply infatuated with. Soon the two joined together again. So, the cleaning before was a waste. Outside the window it was snowing heavily. In the warm house, flirtatious sounds rose and fell. It seemed more intense than usual. Chapter 280. It was cold outside and it was nighttime. Of course, it was suitable for them to continue their intimacy. Still, Muchichi was so tired that she could only utter a few feeble words. No, Xiao Xiao, no. Xing Xiao only let her go when he saw that she was really tired. Early next morning, Muchichi received many well wishes from Qianqian, her aunt, Grandpa Xin, and Xin Jianchuan. Muchichi thanked them all, and decided to visit her father before returning to the Shens for lunch. At night, Muchichi planned to hold a small private gathering in Jing Ting's garden. It's a chance for Jing Yun and fourth sister. Let Qianqian come too, I haven't seen her for a long time. It's your birthday, you decide. Then I'll have Aunt Wu put a Christmas tree in the yard. Muchichi appeared very excited. Now that her relationship with Xing Xiao was public, she no longer had to hide and could see her best friend whenever she wanted. Sheng Minglan was naturally willing to go when she received the invitation. After all, Shaoqi was the only place in the entire Xing family where she felt comfortable. Still, Muchichi told Xing Minglan in advance that Lu Qianqian would be there as well, and hoped that Xing Minglan would not mind. Don't worry. I understand, Miss Lu. Muchichi made the arrangements. In the afternoon she decorated Jing Ting with fifth aunt. Xing Xiao did not go to Huangyao today. He just sat in the living room and worked. For some reason, hearing the little one's voice and seeing her figure made him feel at ease and satisfied. In the afternoon, Jing Yun went to Jing Ting first and handed the important documents to Xing Xiao. When Muchichi saw that he was about to leave, she tugged at him. What are you going to do? It's my birthday and you're leaving? Young madam, I'll come back later. Stay. Xing Xiao told Jing Yun without looking up. It's not urgent anyway. Seeing that Muchichi wanted to decorate Jing Ting like a fairy tale world, Jing Yun went with Aunt Wu to help. Muchichi winked at Xing Xiao and secretly kissed his thin lips where no one could see. Still, it had been a long time since he saw Chi'er so happy. Xing Xiao's lips curled into a smile. What a little one. Soon night fell. Muchichi asked fifth aunt to turn on the lights in the courtyard. Now there was finally the atmosphere of a party in Christmas. Soon Xing Minglan arrived at Jing Ting. She got out of the car and saw Jing Yun standing in a corner preparing food. Stunned, she quickly walked up to Xing Chichi. Happy birthday. Muchichi looked at Jing Yun by reflex before asking Xing Minglan, does fourth sister have something to say to Jing Yun? You mischievous brat. He's right there, hurry up and go. Xing Minglan certainly had a lot of things she wanted to tell him, but she didn't know where to start now that she had met him. She quietly walked to Jing Yun's side and helped him unpack the food. Muchichi shook her head helplessly when she saw their awkwardness. She was about to ask Xing Xiao for a solution, but Lu Qianqian had also arrived at Jing Ting with Lin Mu and following behind her. My seventh. Happy birthday. Come if you want. Why did you buy me anything? Muchichi was a little embarrassed when she saw her grandiloquent gift box. Try it and you'll know what it is. Lu Qianqian winked at her. Then what's going on with you and Lin Mu? And Muchichi lifted her chin and asked the man behind Qianqian. I said it's your birthday, but he insisted on coming. I can't help it. Xiaoqichi, I've bought you a super big cake. It'll be delivered soon. Lin Mu, and was very friendly, and after greeting Muin he chatted with Xing Xiao in the living room for a while before turning to Jing Yun and Xing Minglan. Jing Yun likes fourth sister of the Xing family, doesn't he? How did you know that? Xing Xiao asked curiously. He wasn't looking in a certain direction with a pained look on his face on the day of your engagement. Now it's clear that it's fourth sister. Look at the atmosphere between them, it's filled with awkwardness before they start dating. Lin Mu, and was an expert in the field of love, and naturally could see Jing Yun's current state and interest. Xing Xiao smiled and made a bet with Lin Muan. I'll owe you a favor if you can get them together tonight. I'm going to earn a favor from the crown prince. Lin Mu, and became excited at the mention of a favor. Isn't that like having a golden token? Then I'll see how you perform. It was Muchichi's birthday party, and everyone was naturally relaxed and comfortable with just a few good friends. Lin Mu, and found it quite an interesting challenge and so told Xing Xiao, let's watch the show. With that, he walked to the lawn and plucked a small present from the Christmas tree, handing it to Xing Minglan. Goddess, do you still recognize me? Xing Minglan glanced at Lin Mu, and then chuckled. Mu-an. That's right. It's me. Why don't I help you? With that, Lin Mu, and took the box from Xing Minglan's hand, and accidentally covered her hand. Why is it so cold? Go to the side and rest. Warm your hands. Was Jing Yun a match for Lin Muan? All he could do was watch, a hint of dejection flashing in his eyes. Mu Qiqi and Lu Qianshan shared a look at that. That scumbag Lin Mu, and can't you tell that he's provoking Jing Yun? Mu Qiqi quickly grabbed Lu Qianshan. Let him teach that blockhead Jing Yun a lesson. Lu Qianshan paused for a moment. Are you sure? I'm just worried that his philandering is acting up again. Why do you care about him? It's not like he's your boyfriend. Lu Qianshan did a double take at Mu Qiqi's words, and realized that she was being a busybody. All right. In fact, wasn't that Mu Qiqi testing Lu Qianshan as well? Seeing that she had no chance to talk to Jing Yun, Xing Minglan wanted to sit with her brother. Meanwhile, Lin Mu and seized the chance to go to the washroom and get a towel soaked in hot water to wipe Xing Minglan's hand. A fairy's hand shouldn't be left in the snow. Xing Xiao couldn't help glancing at Jing Yun's direction when he saw that the blockhead was still focused on cooking. How could he hold it in? Mu, and you really know how to win a girl's heart. Xing Minglan said to Lin Mu, and even as she warmed her hands. If I were a few years younger, I might fall for your suit pants too. Goddess, I don't like what you're saying. Since when did you get old? Xing Minglan laughed out loud this time. After all, who wouldn't be happy to be praised as young and pretty? Chapter 281. Soon dinner was ready. Everyone sat around a warm stove and a sumptuous dinner, just as the cake Lin Muan had arranged was delivered to Jingting on time. Along with the twinkling lights on the Christmas tree, everyone present had probably never had such a warm and comfortable Christmas Eve. Lin Mu and deliberately sat next to Xing Minglan, and when Mu Qiqi saw that Jing Yun had not taken his seat, she got up and whispered to him, "You know that Lin Mu and is a Casanova? You'd better keep an eye on him. Fourth sister is in a low mood right now, and he could easily take advantage of it." Jing Yun glanced at Mu Qiqi but said nothing, though he held his plate and squeezed himself between Lin Mu and Xing Minglan. Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao shared a look and couldn't help but laugh. Sure enough, goading worked best. It's been a long time since I played such a childish game. Do we have to make a wish on Christmas Eve? Lin Mu and asked Xing Minglan, deliberately standing between Jing Yun and them. Why don't we all play a game, Great Fairy? I think it's a good idea. It's Cheer's birthday and we're all friends here. We can have some fun. Lu Qianshan quickly raised her hand in agreement. I'm fine with it. Mu Qiqi raised a brow and turned to Xing Xiao. What about you? Who's afraid? Tell me the rules. We'll start with an explosive question and everyone has to answer it truthfully. If you can't, you'll be punished with 5 glasses of wine. What do you think? Although we often meet each other, we don't really know each other. We're friends, so how can we not have dirt on each other? Lin Mu and explained the rules of the game while asking for their opinions. Are we playing? Yes. Xing Xiao made the final decision. Alright, I'll start. You'll answer clockwise and it's only a pass if everyone is satisfied with the answer. With that, Lin Mu and prepared the glasses and placed them in front of everyone. Come on. Lu Qianshan was very supportive. As Mu Qiqi's best friend, she naturally knew why Mu Qiqi held this little gathering. Since it was for Jing Yun, she naturally had to put on a good show. The first question. Everyone has to tell us the name of your first love. Damn. Do you still remember who your first love was? Lu Qianshan glared at Lin Mu and disdainfully. But since it's going clockwise, I'll be the first to answer. That said, my matter has caused a huge uproar. I don't need to say it, do I? Duan Xiaohan. Where's the crown prince? No one doubted Lu Qianshan's answer, which was why everyone turned to Xing Xiao. Today was Mu Qiqi's birthday. If the crown prince answered another woman, he would have to kneel on durians tonight. Still, Xing Xiao was not afraid at all. His expression was composed. Do you think anyone can be my woman? After saying that, he subconsciously put his arm around Mu Qiqi's shoulder. She's the only one I like and treasure, Cheer. Really? Everyone looked at him suspiciously, but Xing Minglan came out to testify. Before Qiqi appeared, 8th brother was an insulator to women. I will definitely testify for him on this point. That's the case, pass. As for Mu Qiqi, there's no need to ask. He's the crown prince after all, and there's nothing controversial about it. What about you, goddess? Lin Mu, and then turned to the 2 main guests. Xing Minglan blushed and answered awkwardly, it's been a few years. You all know the name of that scumbag, Lung Feng. The next one is amazing, Jing Yun. Quick, tell us the name of your first love. Jing Yun did not say anything. He simply picked up his wine glass and finished it in one gulp, and did not stop for 5 glasses. Really? That's a pity? Lin Mu, and pretended to be regretful before answering himself. My first love was a chubby girl in elementary school. Her name was Xiaxia. Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes. You're at the age where you first learn to love, while others are still playing with mud. Don't change the subject. This round is over. Let's move on to the second round, and it's going to be even more impressive. Just you wait. With that, Lin Mu and rested for a moment and observed their gazes. Everyone could feel the bliss that Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi were exuding, and he wouldn't say much about it. However, both Jing Yun and Xing Minglan had a blank look in their eyes. Who's the first person who made you fantasize about sex? Slap. Lu Qianqian slapped Lin Mu, and at his question. Pervert. Drink if you don't answer. Cut the crap. Lu Qianqian glared at him, and promptly picked up 5 glasses of wine and finished them in one gulp. Where's the crown prince? Xing Xiao answered quickly. This time Mu Qiqi was stunned again. Is it me too? Don't you know very well who I can get hard on? Xing Xiao whispered into Mu Qiqi's ear. Mu Qiqi blushed at once. Meanwhile Lin Mu and simply skipped over Mu Qiqi. You don't have to say it. Qiqi only has the crown prince in her heart, and now it's the goddess' turn. It was a very open question and left Xing Minglan sweating. I'll drink. But before Xing Minglan could pick up her glass, Jing Yun had already downed 5 glasses for her. Jing Yun, you know that's breaking the rules, don't you? You didn't say I can't drink for you, Lin Mu, and glared at him and let him go. What about you? Answer the question. Jing Yun said nothing and downed another 5 glasses. Could he still drink 15 glasses in a row? His face was already turning red. Lin Mu and gave him a thumbs up and praised him. You can. My fantasy partner is Anna Jolie. You're the one who's cheating. Lu Qianqian was very displeased with Lin Mu An's answer. That's enough for the warm-up. Everyone, let's eat, or some of you would get drunk before the food gets cold. Lin Mu An's hint was quite strong, and he went to Xing Minglan with his fork and knife. Goddess, do you mind if I sit with you? Xing Minglan shook her head. Lin Mu and sat down calmly but accidentally knocked over the glass of red wine in front of Xing Minglan. I'm sorry, goddess. I'll get a towel to wipe your feet. But just as he was about to rise, Jing Yun coldly cut him off. Don't bother. I'll go. But I was the one who knocked it over. I don't feel good. This time Jing Yun directly pulled Xing Minglan to her feet. Miss Minglan, let's clean up in the bathroom. You're going to catch a cold. Xing Minglan nodded and promptly followed him. Chapter 282. When they reached the bathroom, Jing Yun turned on the hot water and Xing Minglan told him, It's just that my shoes are wet. Jing Yun filled the tub and heated the towel. Then he crouched in front of Xing Minglan, took off her shoes and covered her feet with the towel. Xing Minglan did a double take and was about to struggle, but Jing Yun did not let her. It'll be fine in a while. Jing Yun, don't let Lin Mu An touch you. He's a playboy and I'm worried. Jing Yun told Xing Minglan calmly and gently. At least you have to meet someone you really like. That's the only way. Xing Minglan looked at the man who was crouching in front of her. The warmth of his palm was directly transmitted to her soles. When did it start? The little boy from back then had now become such a mature and charismatic man. Xing Minglan's heart was beating wildly, and her palms were sweating a little. Just wear the slippers from the guest room. I'll dry them for you. The process of covering her feet was as long as a century. That was why Xing Minglan breathed a sigh of relief when Jing Yun said that. Xing Minglan put on the warm slippers as she wished and left the bathroom. As for Jing Yun, she did not dare to look at his face at all, afraid that she would reveal what was in her heart. When the others saw her blush when she came out, they knew that she was not completely unaware of Jing Yun. Goddess, I'm really sorry. Lin Mu and quickly apologized. It's fine. Let's keep chatting. Xing Minglan quickly hid her panic. Jing Yun is such a blockhead. Finally, there's a day when he's considerate. Xing Xiao deliberately stirred up an ambiguous atmosphere between them, and the few of them started drinking. Soon Jing Yun returned to his seat. Even when he saw the others looking at him strangely, he remained calm. It's such a good atmosphere. It's a pity not to dance. Lu Qianqian said as she sipped her wine. Lin Mu and understood at once and extended his hand to Xing Minglan. Goddess, could you do me the honor? It's not convenient for fourth sister's shoes. Jing Yun answered for her. Then Qianqian, let's jump. Lu Qianqian glared at him but still agreed to his suggestion. The two of them walked to the lawn behind them. At this time Xing Xiao pulled Mu Qiqi up and said to her, I'm a little cold. Accompany me upstairs to change. What do you mean by changing clothes? You're clearly trying to do something bad. Whatever the case may be, it would be best to keep Jing Yun and Xing Minglan here. Mu Qiqi tried to resist, but was dragged into the bedroom by Xing Xiao, who kissed her ferociously the moment they entered. Xiao Xiao, you lit the fire? Are you trying to act shamelessly? Mu Qiqi was stunned. She didn't understand how she had seduced this man, and she didn't have the chance to figure it out because their union had already arrived. There were guests downstairs and time was tight. But because of this, both of them were stimulated at the same time. It was even crazier and more carefree than usual. How did I offend you? Your passionate gaze when you answer me. Doesn't that count? Xing Xiao pressed his lips against the tip of Mu Qiqi's nose domineeringly. You had the same gaze when you had a crush on me, as if you wanted to devour me whole. I didn't. And yet, Mu Qiqi's protest was soon lost in Xing Xiao's deep kiss. Downstairs, the snowy wind was biting. Jing Yun and Xing Minglan simply sat there as they watched Lin Mu and Xing Minglan dance. After a long time, Xing Minglan asked, "Did you leave the Xing family because of me?" "No. I would have to leave sooner or later." Jing Yun answered honestly. "If seventh sister didn't spread rumors everywhere, would you have left the Xing family without a word?" Xing Minglan was very clear about that. "We can't see each other often in the future, right? I'm still with young master. You can see me whenever you want, fourth sister, or you can give me a call. I'm about to embarrass Grandpa at the engagement party, and the Xing family might never have a place for me in the future. Since Grandpa would suppress me in the future, why would I drag you down? I'm alone. Why would I be afraid of dragging you down?" Jing Yun chuckled and drank bottle after bottle. Unwittingly, the two had finished every bottle of wine they had prepared during the banquet. By then, both of them were getting tipsy, although Xing Minglan had a better tolerance. Jing Yun was so drunk that he slumped over the table. That was when Lin Mu and gestured to Lu Qianqian. "It's about time. We should leave. Do you think something would happen between them tonight? Just wait and see. The ambiguous atmosphere would definitely start tonight." Lin Mu and held her by the waist and quietly led her away from the banquet. And the two upstairs probably wouldn't come down either. Seeing that everyone had left, fifth aunt came out to Xing Minglan. "Fourth sister, I'll leave young master Jing Yun to you. I have to go home and take care of my grandson." "All right. Happy Christmas Eve." Fifth aunt was a perceptive person. She knew what her master was doing tonight. So, of course, she would create an opportunity for them. After fifth aunt left, Xing Minglan looked at the Christmas tree that was still twinkling, and then at Jing Yun. "You've been taking care of me the last 2 times. Today it's my turn to take care of you." Xing Minglan spent a lot of effort to help Jing Yun into the guest room. Seeing how drunk he was, she was about to wipe his face when Jing Yun grabbed her hand. "Don't go, I'm not leaving." Xing Minglan comforted him. "I'm just wiping your face." Jing Yun was stunned for a moment. Then he let go of her hand. "You will be someone else's wife sooner or later. I can't force you." Xing Minglan was suddenly puzzled at those words. What did he mean by that? Just as she was about to step into the bathroom, Jing Yun suddenly got up from the bed and hugged her from behind. "Jing Yun, just 5 seconds. Let me be willful this time. I'll forget about it tomorrow." Xing Minglan was surprised. Just when she was about to ask, Jing Yun turned her around and pressed her against the wall. He almost kissed her. "If I take advantage of you, fourth sister, you will hate me, right?" Having said that, Jing Yun took 2 steps back and sat on the bed. "I'm really despicable." Before Xing Minglan could say anything, Jing Yun fell on the bed and fell asleep. Meanwhile, Xing Minglan's face was completely red, because she could vaguely feel the suppressed feelings of this man. At first, she thought that Jing Yun did not know who he was hugging, and it was inevitable that the man would be confused. However, when he called out Miss Minglan's name, she understood that everything Jing Yun did was for her. Was for herself. There was no one else. Chapter 283. Xing Minglan did not dare to wake Jing Yun up and ask him. What if she misunderstood? Still, she would not be satisfied if she did not get to the bottom of it. That was why asking Xing Xiao about it was the safest. Still, she would not leave Xing Xiao's room for the rest of the night. The next day, Xing Ming came out of the guest room with a pale face. Finding Xing Xiao drinking coffee in the living room, she went to him and sat down beside him. "Jing Yun is not awake yet?" The first thing Xing Xiao did was ask about Xing Minglan. After all, they had shared the same room again last night, and Xing Xiao knew what was going on. "Is that important now?" Xing Minglan looked at him seriously. "I have something to ask you, Xing Xiao." Xing Xiao looked up with a half-smile. "You want to ask me if Jing Yun likes you? How do you know?" About this matter you should ask the person in question. Do you think my words count? Sheng Xiao deliberately piqued Xing Minglan's curiosity. Can't you use your heart to feel if a man likes you? Xing Minglan said nothing, but she was pretty sure from Xing Zhao's expression. It doesn't matter whether he likes you or not. You are the fourth daughter of the Sheng family and he is my assistant. His background is even less than Qier's. You want to know the answer first? Can you shoulder such feelings? Don't point it out without thinking it through, or we won't be friends anymore. Should Xing Minglan think about that? Of course she should. Her own crisis had not been resolved, and she could not bear to drag Jing Yun down with her. What did Jing Yun do wrong? He would suffer with her. Looks like you have thought it through. You would have to face Jing Yun last night if you stay. You can leave Jing Ting now if you want to pretend you don't know anything. I'll handle Jing Yun. Having thought it through, Xing Minglan rose from the sofa. I'm going back. Take good care of Jing Yun. Xing Xiao nodded. Still, he knew that Jing Yun still had a long way to go after seeing Xing Minglan's reaction. After Xing Minglan left, Mu Qiqi went downstairs and found fourth sister's back. She was puzzled. Why did fourth sister leave? Fourth sister hasn't decided if she wants to face Jing Yun yet. That's why I told her not to appear in front of Jing Yun with such an indecisive look and make him suffer even more. Mu Qiqi nodded and hugged his neck in agreement. You're always so meticulous. It's so tiring to watch two restrained people in love. Those were Xing Zhao's exact words. To him, liking someone meant possessing them. Otherwise, what was the meaning of life? Soon, Jing Yun came out of the guest room as well, and promptly straightened his posture respectfully when he saw Xing Xiao. Don't drink so much in the future. It's hard for Aunt Wu to take care of you all night. Jing Yun's brows naturally furrowed when he heard that. He clearly remembered that the person who wiped his face last night was Miss Minglan. Moreover, they seemed to have talked quite a bit. Could it be that he was dreaming? Regardless, Jing Yun replied, I understand. Xing Xiao kept the matter a secret, and he would not tell Jing Yun what happened that night for the time being. Everything would have to wait until the time was right. Meanwhile, at the Xing residence. When Xing Minghui saw that Xing Minglan came home early the next morning and reeked of alcohol, she knew that she had gone to Jing Ting again. Fourth sister and Xing Xiao seemed to have a good relationship. Xing Minglan was already in a mess. Since Xing Minghui was here to cause trouble, she would certainly not be polite. She grabbed Xing Minghui's clothes and warned her, I advise you not to provoke me. Xing Minghui was shocked by Xing Minghui's action and did not say a word, while Xing Minghui pushed her aside. Xing Minghui clutched her pounding heart, and only snorted coldly after Xing Minghui had gone far away. Grandpa is the one in charge of this family. Could she have gotten the wrong person? Moreover, what good will it end up if she gets involved with Mu Qiqi? Having said that, Xing Minghui went to Grandpa Sheng's study. Grandpa, do you know that fourth sister stayed at Jingting last night and did not come home? What are you trying to stir up again? Grandpa Sheng stopped practicing his calligraphy with his right hand and looked up at Xing Minghui. Didn't I tell you to be quiet and wait for the results of the VVIP night? No, Grandpa. Think about it. Although fourth sister agreed to the marriage on the surface, we can all see how unhappy she is. Now that she is so close to Mu Qiqi, aren't you afraid that fourth sister would change her mind at the last minute? Is there anything that Mu Qiqi can't do? Wouldn't Xing Xiao encourage fourth sister to pursue freedom? Xing Minghui's words did not sound logical, but it pierced Grandpa Sheng's worry. After all, Xing Minghui was obedient and did not resist at all. Was she afraid? It seemed that he had to plan ahead and let the rice be cooked. Alright, don't keep talking about Mu Qiqi all the time. Aren't you using her now? Xing Minghui shut up. She thought that it was true, and it would not be too late to deal with Mu Qiqi after she got through this. On the other hand, Grandpa Sheng had added the step of inviting the Englishman to their house for dinner before the wedding so that there would be no complications. What was Grandpa Sheng thinking? Nobody knew. Unable to understand Grandpa Sheng's intentions, Xing Minghui called Xing Xiao. Grandpa has arranged for the Englishman to come for dinner in 2 days. Did you get the notice? I heard about it, but Grandpa Sheng did not let me and Chier go home. Xing Xiao replied. Xing Xiao, why do you think Grandpa Sheng is planning this? Or is he aware of it and prepared for it? I'll have my mother keep an eye on it. You can ask her if you have any trouble. Xing Xiao told Xing Minghui that since Grandpa Sheng had made all these preparations and forbade him and Mu Qiqi from going home, it was certainly not just for dinner. Since Grandpa Sheng did not want him to go home, he would go and have a party. Grandpa Sheng was a shrewd man in the first place, and with seventh sister constantly fanning the flames beside his ear, Some things would become complicated even if they were simple. Having received Xing Zhao's instructions, Mama Sheng subconsciously paid attention to Grandpa Sheng's every move. She also knew that Grandpa Sheng had specially bid for a very expensive bottle of Lafite. She assumed that Grandpa Sheng was going to use it when he invited the Englishman to dinner, but Grandpa Sheng simply had it placed in his study. There was no telling what he was planning. Chapter 284. No one knew what kind of medicine it was. More importantly, Grandpa Sheng did not say that he was not feeling well. Mama Sheng sent the information back to Xing Xiao and asked him to analyze it. Muqiqi thought for a while and found the key information. Treating someone? Drinking? Taking medicine? I don't think Grandpa Sheng has any good intentions. Xiao, we must go to Xing Mansion tomorrow and save fourth sister. Okay. Xing Xiao was busy with his work, but he still answered softly. However, in his heart he was able to associate a lot of things with it. So, he needed to verify it. He asked Mama Sheng to arrange for the servants to get the medicine tonight. If they could get the results, they should send it out of Xing Mansion immediately. He would arrange for someone to do a test. But Mama Sheng was not completely confident. After all, the medicine was in Grandpa Sheng's bedroom. And Grandpa Sheng was such a cunning man. The servants only have time to make the bed for Grandpa Sheng. I'm afraid it won't be enough. That's easy. Mom, you can go and trouble seventh sister. She will definitely complain to Grandpa Sheng. That will buy us some time. Alright, I'll give it a try. Mama Sheng agreed because it was related to fourth sister's happiness. Mama Sheng was willing to help. But if Grandpa Sheng keeps the medicine in the safe, we can't do anything about it. Then I'll torture Dr. Yan. You're really? Mama Sheng couldn't help but laugh when she heard that. However, she also felt that Xing Xiao seemed to have a little more human when he was with Muqiqi. He was no longer acting in his own way. At least, he had a place in his heart. Where's Muqiqi? Xing Xiao glanced at the woman beside him. She was studying the information of the eldest son of the Liu family. He smiled. She is thinking of a way to solve the VVIP night in Huangyao. Huangyao has an entire team, but they still can't solve it. She is just a little girl. Mama Sheng sighed. You should treat Muqiqi well. Don't tire her out. It doesn't matter if you can't solve it. Let's wait and see. With that, Xing Xiao hung up and kissed Muqiqi on the head. Don't fool around. I am busy. Mom told me to love you more. I'm just doing my filial duty. Muqiqi put down her pen and looked up. Xing Xiao lifted her up from the chair. It's late, Xiaoqi. She really couldn't do anything to this man. In the Sheng family, Mama Sheng followed Xing Zhao's arrangement. She asked the servant to go to Grandpa Sheng's room to look for the medicine. The servant knew Grandpa Sheng's habit of keeping things. Other than the safe, she knew where Grandpa Sheng kept the medicine. But she couldn't find it. The helper was helpless. She made one last attempt and found a small medicine bag in the corner of the safe. The helper was not sure, so she carefully opened it, looked at it, and carefully put it back. There were 4 yellow Xiaoyao pills. The servant did not dare to break them. She scraped some powder with her fingernails and took it away. She was ready to give it to Mama Sheng. However, when he went out, he bumped into the old man. He panicked and was scared out of his wits. What are you doing? Master, I was just frightened. Grandpa Sheng walked to the safe and looked at the medicine bag. When he found that it was still there, he waved his hand at the servant. You can leave now. After the servant left, Grandpa Sheng went to check the medicine bag again. He was relieved when he saw that there were no pills missing. The servant was so scared that she broke into a cold sweat. She quickly went to look for Mama Sheng. Mama Sheng had just returned to her room. She did not go to seventh sister because it was too deliberate. Anyway, it was the end of the month. So, she went to talk to Grandpa Sheng about the expenses of the family. How is it? I got it. I hope it will be useful for you. The servant took out a small paper bag and gave it to Mama Sheng. I only scraped a little powder. It's enough. Mama Sheng sent it to Xing Xiao overnight. Xing Xiao immediately arranged for the test. The next morning, Xing Xiao got the answer. It was an aphrodisiac that could be bought in the market. Grandpa Sheng invited her to dinner. He prepared red wine and aphrodisiac. What was he doing? Wasn't he trying to force Xing Minglan to submit? It seemed that Grandpa Sheng had noticed fourth sister's action. Otherwise, he would not want to do this. However, since Grandpa Sheng treated his granddaughter like this, he could not blame him for arranging a good show. Tonight, the Sheng family invited their future son-in-law to dinner. So, the servants were decorating the living room. According to Grandpa Sheng, it was to make the guests feel at home. Xing Minglan was not excited. Her eyes were getting darker and darker. She could not see through her. Seventh sister saw that she was upset. So she smiled at Xing Minglan. Fourth sister, aren't you curious why there is a dinner tonight? Because I secretly told Grandpa that you are too close to Muchichi. Maybe you have been infected by her and want to get rid of Grandpa's control. So, Grandpa arranged this dinner to give you a wake-up call. This matter is already set in stone. You should just accept your fate. Xing Minglan sneered. Why wouldn't I accept my fate? I just don't know that you are such a bitch. Why would I be a bitch? I'm just concerned about you. Xing Minglan said nothing. She just clenched her fists. When she returned to her room, she called Xing Xiao. Seventh sister is the one who urged me to do this. Xing Xiao, I can't stand it anymore. Let seventh sister be the bride tonight. Are you sure? I'm sure. Why can't I resist for once? Why should I let her do whatever she wants? Just because I'm more obedient than her, more reasonable than her? No, some people will only become worse if you are kind to them. Xing Xiao, let's do it. Sitting in his office in Huangyao, Xing Xiao smiled. The show was getting more and more interesting. If that's the case, let's add some spice to the plan. Other people's grandfathers could care for their granddaughters. For example, Grandpa Shin. There were also people who treated their granddaughters harshly and finally admitted their mistakes. For example, Grandpa Mu. But what about Xing Xiao's grandpa? He used an aphrodisiac on his granddaughter. It was such a despicable trick. Xing Minglan was determined to leave the Sheng family. Such a family and such elders were not worth her sadness. So, the show tonight would definitely be interesting. Jing Yun was by Xing Xiao's side. He knew what happened from the start and felt sorry for Xing Xiao. But Xing Xiao also reminded him, if you want fourth sister to be safe, don't act rashly. I'll make all the necessary preparations. When the time comes, you just need to bring fourth sister to the hospital and send her home secretly tomorrow morning. I'll make arrangements for everything else. Although Jing Yun was worried, he nodded. Chapter 285. After business was over, Xing Xiao went home, ready to bring Mu Chichi to Xing Mansion to watch the show. On the other hand, Mu Chichi was already prepared. She had already changed into a long black dress and a brown trench coat. Xing Xiao raised a brow. When he saw that the little one was so feminine, he couldn't help kissing her. Stop fooling around. Fourth sister's matter is more important. Xing Xiao put his arm around Mu Chichi's waist and they quickly got into the car. On the way, Xing Xiao told Mu Chichi about Sheng Minghui's instigation in front of the old man. Mu Chichi almost exploded when she heard that. I don't get it. Seventh sister hates me for stealing you away and embarrassing her friend. I have nothing to say about that. But fourth sister has never done anything wrong to her. Why does she have to pick on me? Mu Chichi almost exploded when she heard that. Fourth sister helps you at every turn and the two of you are inseparable. Of course she would mark fourth sister as an enemy. But doesn't she know how she would hurt fourth sister by doing that? Do you think fourth sister would tolerate her? Do you know what fourth sister actually said? That Sheng Minghui would be a one-night bride. Mu Chichi was stunned at that. Sheng Minglan was not one to do evil to others, but Sheng Minghui had made her so unbearable. Well, let's wait for the show tonight. It was 6:30 at night. The Sheng family was already seated and dressed to the nines, because they had a guest, the Englishman who was sitting beside Sheng Minglan. Everyone conversed in English and had a pleasant conversation. The old man was becoming more and more pleased with the Englishman, because he revealed between the lines that he would grow with Huang Yao, and that he would help the Sheng family expand into the northern European market after he and Sheng Minglan got married. The man was 34 years old and appeared elegant like most Englishmen. However, he never once told Sheng Minglan that he was married for the second time and had a daughter. It was a lie. The family conversed happily, but the old man never expected that Mu Chichi and Xing Xiao would return halfway through the dinner. Why didn't you invite us to a gathering? Xing Xiao asked the old man, holding onto Mama Sheng's chair. Grandpa Ji snorted. I'm just afraid that you'll ruin your sister's wedding. I'm bringing Chi back tonight just to make a living. Old master, you're thinking too much. The servants promptly brought chairs for them, while Xing Xiao led Mu Chichi to their seats. Still, everyone in the Xing family at the dining table had their own thoughts, and were making their own plans. Grandpa Xing was afraid that Xing Xiao would cause trouble, but Xing Minghui was more than happy to see Mu Chichi back. Because she wanted Mu Chichi to know that Grandpa's orders were not to be disobeyed. Even though fourth sister was so unwilling, Grandpa Xing still ordered her to marry Mu Chichi. This meant that if Grandpa Sheng asked Sheng Xiao to dump Muchichi, he would have to do the same. But tonight, Muchichi had no intention of looking for trouble at all. She talked to Mama Sheng the whole time and did not seem to care about Sheng Minghui at all. It was as if she was really here for dinner. But Grandpa Sheng did not forget to ask about the progress of Huang Yao's VVIP night. Chi-Chi, do you still remember the topic Grandpa gave you? Of course not. How could she forget the person who dug a hole for her to jump into? Are you confident? Grandpa only cares about the results. You don't have to care about anything else. Muchichi told Grandpa Sheng confidently. I'll definitely give you a different VVIP night. You're the one who's boasting. Don't mess things up and embarrass Sheng Xiao. I'll do my best for him. Grandpa Sheng was deliberately diverting everyone's attention to Muchichi so that they would not notice that he was actually helping Sheng Minghui and the Englishman get together. I don't believe that an 18-year-old girl like you could do anything. Muchichi only replied after hearing Sheng Minghui's sarcasm. I'm sorry, but I'm 19. And seventh sister, I'll prove that I can do what you can't do at 25. Let's wait and see. The first half of the night was about the development of Huang Yao and the British fashion house, while the second half was about the VVIP night. After they had their fill, Grandpa Sheng looked at his children and grandchildren, especially Sheng Xiao. He was quite satisfied with the night, at least he was not here to cause trouble. Then Grandpa Sheng turned to Sheng Minglan and the Englishman. Both of you come to my study later. I have something to tell you. Yes, Grandpa. Sheng Minglan replied, sharing a look with Sheng Xiao to make sure that the show was ready. But that was when Sheng Minghui shouted, Is the chef crazy? Why is there so much mustard in the seafood? So spicy. Sister Yun, get me a glass of ice water. Sheng Xiao smirked. It seemed that he would have to raise the chef's salary. I'm coming, Miss Minglan. After dinner, everyone was still chatting when Sheng Xiao led Muchichi away. Grandpa, don't forget to call me when there's dinner in the future. If you're this obedient every time, there would be seats for you everywhere in the house. The old man snorted. Oh, I wish all of you a pleasant night. Sheng Xiao said meaningfully, and held Muchichi's hand as they went downstairs. Still, they did not leave the house because they were waiting to receive Sheng Minglan. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan and the Englishman had arrived at Grandpa Sheng's study, and the legendary La Fight was finally presented to Sheng Minglan. About the engagement ceremony, Grandpa wants to ask you if there are any changes that need to be made. It's your engagement ceremony and I want to hear your opinions. Without batting an eyelid, Old Master Sheng asked someone to prepare the wine glasses and poured the red wine, preparing to chat with the two of them while drinking. The Englishman was caught off guard, while Sheng Minglan deliberately cooperated. That was when Sheng Minghui slowly reacted after drinking the ice water. That was why she returned to her room, intending to take a bath and see if she would feel better. But when she passed by Sheng Minglan's room, she seemed to hear a woman moaning. She wanted to confirm it, but the door to Sheng Minglan's room was left open, and she was locked inside after she barged in. Soon, she was paralyzed on the floor, her body in agony. On the other hand, Sheng Minglan was starting to feel uncomfortable. Grandpa, I want to go back to my room. Knowing that she was having an outburst, the old man waved her off. Go. Sheng Minglan promptly got up and returned to her room with a hint of rationality. Then she fell into a cold embrace. It was Jing Yun's set. I'll bring you to my room. Because no one knew that Sheng Minghui was in Sheng Minglan's room, the old man would not know that it was Sheng Minglan and not Sheng Minglan who was in the room. Chapter 286. Jing Yun, I don't feel good. Sheng Minglan felt that this was the most embarrassing moment in her life. Her entire body was burning, and she couldn't help wanting to get closer to Jing Yun. Even so, her rationality reminded her that she must not lose her composure like that. Jing Yun brought Sheng Minglan to the room he used to stay in and put her in the bathroom. Still, he could not bear to put Sheng Minglan in the cold water, so he used a cold towel to ease her discomfort. Hang in there. We'll get out of here soon. Jing Yun, don't go. Sheng Minglan held on to Jing Yun. This man was her only support right now. After all, she was afraid that the old man would notice them, and all her efforts would go to waste. I'm not going. I'll stay here with you. Jing Yun put the wet towel over Sheng Minglan's neck, so that she could regain some rationality. Meanwhile, the drug in the Englishman's body was starting to take effect. When the old man saw him, he asked, Are you not feeling well? A little. Then rest in Minglan's room. Don't go back tonight. I'll have the servants help you in. The old man was calm and composed, showing no sign that he had done something vicious. The Englishman didn't have the strength to reply, and so entered Xing Minglan's room with the help of the servants. The Englishman couldn't find the light at all. He could vaguely see the bed, and so he walked towards it and threw himself on top of it. Meanwhile, Xing Minghui was tearing at her clothes in discomfort, and the two of them were in a blazing inferno. Soon the room was filled with noises that left one blushing. When the servants heard that and confirmed that the job was done, they reported it to the old man. The old man seemed to have fulfilled a long-cherished wish. He ordered the servants, "Pass down the order. No matter what sounds come from that room tonight, we don't need to pay attention to it." "Understood, master." The servants were naturally happy that they could rest earlier. However, none of them knew that the woman in the room wasn't Xing Minglan at all. Even so, it was too late even if they found out now. Seeing that the servants were leaving, Mama Xing quickly informed Jing Yun. "I'll stall the old man. Find a chance to leave with fourth sister. Eighth brother's car is waiting downstairs." Seeing that his chance had come, Jing Yun wrapped Xing Minglan in his jacket so that she wouldn't be exposed, and carried her out of the house, avoiding the servants and going straight to the Xing family's parking lot. "Jing Yun?" Mu Qiqi waved at Jing Yun from the car. Jing Yun quickly led Xing Minglan into the car, and it was only then that Xing Zhao's car left the house. "How is fourth sister?" Mu Qiqi looked back and saw Xing Minglan blushing and moaning non-stop. Xing Zhao turned her head and instructed Jing Yun, "Go straight to Jing Ting. The doctor is already waiting there." Mu Qiqi understood Xing Zhao's intention. So she turned on the music in the car. There was nothing to see other people's embarrassment. She had to save fourth sister's face. Jing Yun looked at the two people in front of the car gratefully. Only then did he hug Xing Minglan tightly. Her body was too hot, and if he did not relieve it in time, it would definitely harm her body. Ti Yun's and Xing Zhao's is Xing Yun Ti to the Ti her. After all, his chest was cool and comfortable. Jing Yun blushed as well. Fortunately, Mu Qiqi pretended not to know about it. The music was loud as well. "Hold on a little longer, fourth sister." Xing Minglan simply couldn't control the emptiness and desire in her body. So she climbed onto Jing Yun's neck and nibbled his ear. Jing Yun held her down, afraid that she would do something more extreme. Finally the car entered Jing Ting. Jing Yun quickly carried Xing Minglan down the car, and the family doctor reacted quickly. After checking Xing Minglan, he took out a syringe and injected her with some medicine to relieve the heat. "There's a process. Wipe her body with a wet towel." At that, Jing Yun carried Xing Minglan to the bed in the guest room, and went to the fridge to get some ice. Xing Zhao and Mu Qiqi shared a look. They really thought that Jing Yun would have to rely on his own abilities to stay single. With the medicine, Xing Minglan regained some of her rationality. When she saw Jing Yun busying himself, she tugged at his sleeve. "Jing Yun, what is it, fourth sister?" "Jing Yun, what is it, fourth sister?" Jing Yun quickly crouched in front of Xing Minglan. "I feel terrible. I feel terrible. Don't you like me? Just take me." Jing Yun's whole body stiffened at Xing Minglan's words. Fourth sister knew that he liked her? And she even told him to take her? "Fourth sister, you've already seen the doctor. You'll be fine after a while." Jing Yun calmed Xing Minglan in the next second. "But it's really terrible." Xing Minglan reached out to tug at her clothes, and accidentally revealed a large part of her body. Jing Yun quickly covered her with a blanket. "You'll be fine soon. I won't feel terrible if you take me. I won't take advantage of you," Jing Yun told Xing Minglan very firmly. "There's some ice here. I'll put it on for you. You'll be fine soon." Some wrong things should not happen at the wrong time. Jing Yun's mind was very clear. He did not want Xing Minglan to have the wrong idea of marrying anyone but him because of this. He hoped that Xing Minglan would be clear-headed whenever she made a decision. Xing Minglan did not say anything else. She closed her eyes and cooperated with him. Soon she got through the most difficult part and felt much better. After a while, Xing Minglan opened her eyes and looked at Jing Yun. "Don't tell anyone about what happened tonight. Don't worry. I won't do it for the rest of my life," Jing Yun promised. Xing Minglan was relieved and closed her eyes. At the same time she had a new understanding of Jing Yun. This man was really mature. Outside the door, Xing Zhao and Mu Qiqi were sitting in the living room. Mu Qiqi glanced at the door of the guest room and asked, Xiao, do you think they can make any progress? Fourth sister is already like this." Xing Zhao shook his head. "Jing Yun won't take advantage of others. He wasted such a good opportunity. Even if he doesn't make any progress, he could still confess. Fourth sister knows Jing Yun's feelings." Xing Zhao pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. "All right, let's not waste time. Go wash up and rest. What about you? I still have to send fourth sister home in the morning. Xing Xiao nudged Mu Qiqi. Go rest. I'll be up soon. Chapter 287. Waves of lust came and went, but when Xing Minghui's stamina was completely drained, she finally realized that something was wrong. She was now lying in a man's arms, and they had done it countless times just now. What was going on? It was almost daybreak outside, and yet Xing Minghui was having it with her brother-in-law. At that thought, she promptly jumped off the bed, holding back her discomfort as she returned to her room. When she reached the bathroom, she saw that her body was covered in marks of lovemaking. The crazy scene from last night flashed through her mind page by page. She slept with that Englishman? What about Xing Minghui? Last night, she vaguely heard moaning in Xing Minghui's room, which was why she pushed the door open and entered. After that, she had no recollection of anything else apart from the Englishman's madness. She simply could not remember anything else that happened last night. Xing Minghui was sent back to the Xing mansion in the wee hours of the morning, and only returned to her room after Xing Minghui ran away as if she was running for her life. From the atmosphere in the room, one could feel what kind of drama had played out here last night. Xing Minghui pretended to wake up in her room and woke the Englishman up. How could the Englishman know that he was not sleeping with his fiancée? Hence he tried his best to explain to Xing Minghui. Although Xing Minghui felt wronged, she told the Englishman that they were going to be engaged anyway, and this was merely fulfilling their duty as husband and wife ahead of time. When Grandpa Xing saw the two of them coming out of the room, he knew that it was a done deal. With Xing Minghui's personality, she would not have any other thoughts since she had already given herself to the Englishman, and would be content with the engagement. Hence, the Xing family kept quiet about what happened last night, although they knew what had happened. Everyone believed that Xing Minghui and the Englishman were inseparable, and only Xing Minghui knew who had slept with the Englishman last night. Could she tell Grandpa Xing about it? Not unless she wanted to die. Even so, she would not lose her chastity for no reason. Therefore, after breakfast, Xing Minghui grabbed Xing Minghui's wrist and dragged her to the Xing mansion's garden. Fourth sister, you're really good. You planned everything last night, didn't you? Xing Minghui, do you still want to rub salt into my wound? Xing Minglan's eyes reddened too. Grandpa drugged the wine and made me give myself to this Englishman. Isn't that your doing? You're trying to sow discord. Don't you know Grandpa will treat me like this? Xing Minghui stared at Xing Minglan as if trying to determine if she was telling the truth. How would I know that Grandpa would drug you? You don't know? Do you dare to say that you didn't know anything when Grandpa wanted to attend this banquet? Indeed, she had guessed it and was prepared to watch the show, but she had no intention of watching herself. Xing Minghui looked into Xing Minglan's eyes but could not find any flaws. Even so, it was clear that she and the Englishman had rolled around in Xing Minglan's room last night. Did the old man drug Xing Minglan? But why was she the one being drugged? And where was Xing Minglan when she had sex with the Englishman? Or rather, with whom? But she could not see anything from Xing Minglan's eyes. Was she going to lose her virginity for nothing? No, it definitely had something to do with Xing Minglan. But she did not have the guts to ask Grandpa about it. Fourth sister, you better not let me know that you've schemed against me. I schemed against you? If it wasn't for you, would I be where I am today? Xing Minglan pulled up her sleeve and saw a bruise on her arm. It was left by forceful sucking, and it was exactly the same as the one on her body. But it was not from someone else's kiss. Xing Minglan had inflicted it on her arm herself. How else could she hide it from Xing Minghui? Xing Minghui did not say anything else and left the garden. She simply could not figure out what went wrong. She had rolled around with her brother-in-law for a night. If Grandpa knew about it, he would definitely kick her out of the house. To make sure that Xing Minglan was not lying, Xing Minghui went to the study and tested the old man. Grandpa, fourth sister seems very sad last night. She has no choice but to be sad. I did it for her own good. Fourth sister said that you drugged her. That has nothing to do with you? Grandpa Xing's face fell and stopped Xing Minghui. How could she say such things openly? Still, Grandpa Xing's attitude made it clear to Xing Minghui that Xing Minglan must have fallen into the old man's trap. But what about her? Who could she complain to about her grievance? She felt utterly disgusted after being used by the Englishman for a night. Meanwhile, Grandpa Xing felt guilty towards Xing Minglan and became even more tolerant towards her. He did not stop Xing Minglan even when she went out at night. Xing Minglan went out to make sure that her body was fine, and stayed by Jing Yun's side. After that, Xing Minglan went to Jing Ting. Seventh sister is probably wondering why she woke up in my room out of the blue. Xing Minglan said as she drank. If she didn't provoke Grandpa, this wouldn't have happened. Of course, I don't want to stay in this Sheng family anymore. I feel disgusted even for a second longer. Fourth sister. Muchichi caressed her palm. You will be free soon. Everything will be over. Free? Xing Minglan sneered. Do you think Grandpa would let me go after I did such a heinous thing? Still, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's better than sitting here and waiting for death. Miss Minglan, it's getting late. You should go back and rest. Jing Yun reminded her. I'm not going back tonight. Grandpa knows that I hate him, so he's not in the mood to care about me. With that, Xing Minglan turned to Jing Yun beside her. Xing Xiao and the others are resting. Why don't you talk to me for a while? This is my house. Xing Xiao looked at them and gestured at the guest room with his chin. You two go in, Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao glanced at them before turning to Muchichi. Go wash up. I'm going to the study. I'll be back in my room soon. All right. Muchichi nodded. She had a feeling that Xing Minglan had something to tell Jing Yun. Jing Yun was feeling a lot of pressure, especially after seeing Xing Xiao and Muchichi go upstairs. He felt his entire body stiffening as he faced Xing Minglan, who was awake. About what happened last night? I won't tell anyone, Jing Yun quickly said. Chapter 288. No, Jing Yun answered honestly. Because I know that if I really did that, you would hate me when you woke up. Hate you? Xing Minglan chuckled. I'm already the Englishman's woman in other people's eyes. What else do I have to hate? It will all pass. Grandpa is so cruel, Xing Minglan said and promptly gulped down a glass of wine. But I didn't let seventh sister take advantage of me either. Miss Minglan, Jing Yun, why don't we get together? What do you think? Xing Minglan put down her glass and suddenly crooked her finger at Jing Yun. It was only when he came close that she asked him, get together with me? Jing Yun shook his head despite his shock. Miss Minglan, please stop joking. I have my dignity too. Even if Jing Yun had no background, his feelings were not cheap. He would not wag his tail like a dog when the person he liked responded to him. I'm serious. If I can leave the Sheng family this time, I'll come to you. With those words, Xing Minglan curled up on the sofa and fell asleep in no time. When Jing Yun saw that, he carried her into the guest room. He was as calm as ever because he never thought that Xing Minglan was serious from start to finish. Perhaps she was just drunk. Upstairs, after washing up, Muchichi sprawled on the bed to read some documents. When Xing Xiao entered the bedroom and saw that, he promptly patted her butt. Time to sleep. Why do I feel like our house has become a place where fourth sister and Jing Yun are having an affair? Weren't you the one who wanted them to get together? Xing Xiao tugged off his towel and lay on the bed. Muchichi quickly leaned over and lay on his chest. I'm going to meet the eldest son of the Lu family tomorrow. I have to finish my homework before fourth sister's engagement party. Bring bodyguards. Got it. Muchichi nodded. I really want to see fourth sister and Jing Yun together. Meanwhile, Xing Minglan did not return home. Meanwhile, seventh sister was in her room investigating the Englishman. Although this man was divorced and had a child, he was indeed very capable in that aspect. In addition, he owned a high-end fashion empire. In fact, she felt that she could consider this marriage. She did not need to take care of the child, and this man was not much older than her. He was a good man in all aspects. Why did she feel that Xing Minglan was wronged by marrying this man? Now that she and this man had done the deed of husband and wife, she had tasted this man. If she was the one engaged to a British man, wouldn't Xing Minglan's reputation hit rock bottom? Who would want second-hand goods abandoned by the British? Anyway, the man was unmarried and the woman was unmarried. Why couldn't she? With that in mind, Xing Minghui had her own plans, and this was probably something that no one had expected. When that time comes, she would have the capital to deal with Muchichi. After all, she would not let herself suffer for nothing. If that was the case, it was better to snatch it from Xing Minglan's hands. The next day, Muchichi left Jing Ting dressed like a university student and went to the Lu family's company. The receptionist asked her if she had a special appointment because the eldest son of the Lu family had no time for a bored little girl. Muchichi did not say anything else and simply asked the receptionist to pass the message. Muchichi. I would like to have 10 minutes of your time, Mr. Lu. I hope that you can pass the message. The two receptionists were stunned when they heard Muchichi's name. The young bride of the Sheng family was famous throughout Jianshuan. Since she was not a poor university student, the two receptionists certainly passed the message. After waiting for a while, she finally got an unexpected 10 minutes. Eldest Lu's secretary brought her directly to the CEO's office. And before that, Eldest Lu had just finished a collaboration. CEO Miss Mu is here. I'll be right there. Judging from his voice, Mu Chichi felt that he must be a refined person. And the truth proved that Mu Chichi was right. The young master of the Lu family was indeed refined to the core. Even the way he pushed up his glasses made him look like he was a man of good taste. May I know why you are here, Miss Mu? For your wife. Mu Chichi said straightforwardly. Oh, for Zixing. But we don't know each other. Eldest Lu replied to Mu Chichi. I want to resolve the awkwardness of Huang Yao's VVIP night, so I came to disturb you. For that? That's Huang Yao's business. Why did you come to me instead of taking good care of your customers? Young Master Lu, do you want your wife to live in hatred all the time? If you can resolve the hatred in her heart, your life will be different, won't it? After hearing Mu Chichi's words, CEO Lu laughed. As her husband, I have spent 7 years and still could not make her let go of her hatred. You are just an 18-year-old girl? Do you think I can trust you? But this is a chance. Since the worst-case scenario is no result, why don't you let me try, CEO Lu? What do you want me to do? All you need to do is to prepare a gift for your wife, Mu Chichi replied. Is it that simple? If it's that simple, I would have done it long ago. There's no need for you. I can't be arrogant and force my thoughts on you. Besides, I promised you that I would only take up 10 minutes of your time. I won't take up another second of your time. I'll leave now. Mu Chichi was not a pushover. She was just telling eldest young Master Lu about the pros and cons. As for the rest, it naturally required the consent of the person involved. Soon Mu Chichi walked out of the room. Meanwhile, eldest Lu became interested in Mu Chichi. She was just a child herself. Could she change Zixing's mind? That would be a joke. That was why he did not care about Mu Chichi at all. What earth-shattering things could an 18-year-old do? Mu Chichi was so young and inexperienced that no one would trust her. The only one who trusted her was Xing Xiao. Mu Chichi knew that, which was why she did not intend to give up after just one try. Sincerity was necessary to convince others, but ability was the key to gaining recognition. At the same time, she could not delay others' work, which was why she planned to come at noon the next day. On the way back, Xing Xiao called Mu Chichi. How did it go? Not much. Because no one believes me. Mu Chichi pouted. You're giving up just like that? If he doesn't believe me, I'll do it until he does. No husband would want his wife to live in the abyss of the past. I'm trying to help him and I believe he will understand. Xing Xiao smiled and hung up, but after putting away his phone, he had Jing Yun ask for eldest Lu's number. Are you planning to intervene, young master? Chapter 289. After what happened that night, Xing Minghui began to weigh her chances of snatching the Englishman from Xing Minglan's hands. How could she face the man at home after losing her chastity to her brother-in-law? Moreover, she had a taste of the man's ability in that aspect, which was the most addictive part of her. Sometimes women cared so much about a man's sexual bliss. Moreover, with the man's comprehensive ability in all aspects, she felt that she could give it a try this time. Still, there would definitely not be any consequences if she broke through Grandpa Sheng and Xing Minglan. But it would be a different story if she could break the Englishman's bottom line first. After a long time of planning, Xing Minghui finally got the man's contact information and knew which hotel he was staying in. There were only a few days left, and the preparations for Xing Minglan and the man's engagement ceremony were complete. It would be too late if she didn't get there soon. As usual, Xing Minglan and the Englishman tried on gowns and accessories while making final confirmations about the hotel. That night, Xing Minghui was waiting outside Xing Mansion. When she saw the Englishman's car leaving the house, she made up her mind to chase after it. When they reached the hotel, she directly blocked the Englishman's way. Their gazes met, and there seemed to be a mysterious attraction between them. After all, the craziness of that night had left a deep impression on both of them. You are Minglan's younger sister. Xing Minghui approached the Englishman and whispered under his chin. I'm the woman who spent the night with you. The Englishman's gaze was shocked, but there was also a throbbing. How can you prove it? Won't you know when we go to the room? Xing Minghui arched a brow charmingly. Hence, they entered the room and once inside, Xing Minghui wrapped her arms around the Englishman and started kissing him, oblivious to everything else around her. And it was that familiar taste that made the Englishman come to a sudden realization. It's really you? Of course it's me, Xing Minghui said seductively. It must be unforgettable. Ever since that night I couldn't forget you. Now that the Englishman's flame had been ignited, he naturally wanted to inspect the goods. Therefore they soon fell onto the bed behind him, and in no time at all, they were inseparable. It felt exactly the same as that night, and the Englishman almost lost his mind. I didn't expect it to be you. It was such a wonderful feeling. But you're about to get engaged to my sister. After that, Sheng Minghui got up from the bed to keep the Englishman away. You will be my brother-in-law in a few days. Minglan. I don't want her. I want you. I want you. Sheng Minghui put on her clothes and smiled provocatively at the Englishman. Do you dare to go to the Sheng family and ask for my grandfather's hand in marriage? Sheng's flame was no longer. The Sheng Lishman's old Sheng was Sheng. Their Sheng's Ling was old Sheng. 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 He Sheng Li said. Sheng. Sheng he. Sheng, it's still you. With that, Sheng Minghui picked up her handbag and was about to leave when the old Englishman grabbed her and pressed her down. I want you. I want you. Sometimes relationships between men and women were weird. It began with an accident, only to become infatuated with that accident. Sheng Minghui certainly couldn't return to Sheng Mansion that night. After all, she really liked the Englishman's body and abilities. How could Sheng Minglan's meek personality win over the Englishman who loved thrills? It was better to let her have him. The next day Sheng Minghui returned home full of energy and charm. After all, she had slept with Sheng Minglan's fiancé, which made her feel like she had snatched something from Sheng Minglan. At the dining table in the morning, old Sheng told everyone to focus on the big event in 2 days. After all, it wasn't Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi's engagement, and the Sheng family had to be present. Moreover, the old man specifically told Sheng Minghui, fourth sister is getting engaged. Could you not mess things up? What, grandpa? Do I like to mess things up? Sheng Minghui asked with a smile. You have the nerve to say that. The old man snorted and said nothing else, but Sheng Minghui chuckled to herself. Was she just messing things up? What could Sheng Minglan do to her if she wanted to snatch this person away? Even Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi couldn't force the Englishman to marry fourth sister, could they? At the moment, Sheng Minghui was rather smug. She simply didn't know that she had helped Sheng Minglan leave the Sheng family. In the afternoon, Mu Qiqi arrived at the Lu family's house again. She didn't need to make an appointment with eldest Lu at the front desk, and simply sat quietly in the living room, reading her books and completing her homework. Eldest Lu didn't come to see Mu Qiqi when he heard about it from the secretary, and continued with his own business and meetings. Mu Qiqi didn't insist and left the Lu family's house half an hour later, saying that she would come again. The secretary couldn't help chuckling when she conveyed Mu Qiqi's message. If the little girl really wants your help, couldn't she just ask the crown prince to come personally? Eldest young master Lu pushed up the golden glasses on the bridge of his nose and shook his head. If she comes again tomorrow, ask the receptionist to tell her that if she can't come up with a feasible solution, she shouldn't show up again. Many things can't be done with sincerity. Got it, Xiao. Mu Qiqi was only 19 years old, and no one would put their hopes on a little girl like her to stir up trouble. Still, Mu Qiqi wasn't discouraged. Although she felt that she could do it without eldest Lu's help, she still wanted to do it perfectly. The Sheng family's expectation for her was that she would complete her mission as long as the 2 daughters-in-law of the Lu family didn't fight. What special VVIP night? Could she do it with her ability? Moreover, the most important thing for the Sheng family now was Sheng Minglan's engagement, and no one would care about what she was planning for now. That night, Sheng Minghui was having a passionate affair with the man who was going to be her sister's. She seemed to be especially infatuated with the feeling of teasing Sheng Minglan. So, the things she could do with this man were even more unrestrained. Who wouldn't like such a stunner? She was open-minded and knew how to play tricks. If she could make a man happy in bed, what else could she not get? You're going to be engaged to my sister in 1 day. Are you really going to abandon me? Baby, it's just an engagement. You can call it off. Chapter 290. Of course I only want you. You know how infatuated I am with you, and your body. Then wouldn't it be better if we could officially get engaged? I would agree to anything you want then. But now we can only have an affair. The Englishman couldn't stand the pressure and clutched his head. Baby, let me think about it. Then take your time. Don't even think about touching me before you think it through. The man was wavering because he was afraid that old Sheng wouldn't agree to it. It seemed that she had to come up with something, Or wouldn't everything be for naught once the engagement ceremony was held? Sheng Minghui returned to the Sheng family in the middle of the night, but kept thinking about how she could stir things up. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan was still seriously preparing for the establishment of her company. Both of them wanted to make a big deal out of the engagement ceremony, but Sheng Minglan never expected that Sheng Minghui would be so shameless. On the next day, there was only one day left until Sheng Minglan's engagement ceremony. Over the last few days, Xing Xiao had noticed that Jing Yun's mind was entirely on Sheng Minglan, and his heart was hanging by a thread for her. What Sheng Minglan said that night was like a dream to him. To be honest, did he not have any expectations? That was impossible. But he knew that Sheng Minglan was already drunk at the time, and was clearly joking. If you're so worried, why don't I give you a few days off and keep fourth sister company? Jing Yun quickly came to his senses at Sheng Zhao's teasing voice. I'm sorry, young master. Go. See if fourth sister needs help, or perhaps you need to keep an eye on the Englishman. After all, he knew very well that Jing Yun was just a shell even if he stayed by his side, and it was time for him to groom a new assistant. After all, how much longer could Jing Yun help him? Jing Yun glanced at Xing Xiao, but obeyed and left his side. At that, Xing Xiao called the eldest son of the Lu family. Chief Lu, it's Xing Xiao. The other party finally laughed when he heard Xing Xiao's voice, but there was a hint of mockery in his voice. I knew it. Knew what? Or did you think that Mu Chichi is just a 19-year-old girl who can't do anything other than rely on me? That's why you called. As you think, eldest young Master Lu answered honestly. Eldest young Master Lu, I'm very displeased with your attitude. Sheng Zhao's voice began to turn cold. How about this? I don't think you really care for your wife. Otherwise, why wouldn't you dare to gamble when there's no loss of interest? I will talk to Chier. I don't need your cooperation. We will settle the VVIP night in Huangyao as usual. But I can't guarantee that your wife's attitude towards you will change after that night. Are you threatening me? It's just as you think. Do you think that Mu Chichi can't do anything with me around? Eldest young Master Lu. He did not consider this relationship at all. He simply did not trust Mu Chichi. That's it. With that, Xing Xiao was about to hang up when eldest Lu suddenly spoke up to stop him. I can work with you. Don't tell Chier that I called you. This time Xing Xiao really did hang up. On the other end, eldest Lu was suddenly curious. From the looks of it, the crown prince did not call because Mu Chichi asked him to, and Mu Chichi was not in the know. Moreover, Xing Xiao told him not to tell Mu Chichi. In other words, he wanted to protect Mu Chichi's pride. It seemed that the rumors were right. The crown prince really did treat his little bride as the apple of his eye. Since Xing Xiao was backing him, he could give it a try. After years of being stuck in a marriage, he wanted some change. That afternoon, Mu Chichi met eldest Lu as she wished, and he was delighted. How do you want me to cooperate? Mu Chichi was taken aback. Why did eldest Lu suddenly change his mind? What? Didn't you want me to cooperate? I just need you to think of a way to get this set of jewelry. This was polished not long after Huangyao was established. It is priceless. It was originally not for sale, but in order to tide over the difficult times, the CEO of Huangyao auctioned this set of jewelry. I want your wife to become the most beautiful person on that night. I want her to understand that she has a husband who loves her the most. She should be looking down on those despicable people now. So, are you willing to let her shine on the bright night gala? Eldest Lu nodded when he saw the exquisite set of jewelry. It's been years since I gave Zixin a decent gift. This is the perfect time to make up for it. Tell me on time whether you find the set of jewelry or not, or I can prepare something else. Is this what you want me to do? Eldest Lu became even more curious about Mu Chichi. You're trying so hard to help me save my marriage, just so that Huang Yao's VVIP night could break the usual stalemate? Because that's the crux of the matter. Mu Chichi did not waste too much of eldest Lu's time, and left the office after she was done. Eldest Lu was even more intrigued now. Just when you thought that this girl was just a rich second-generation heir, she quickly slapped you in the face. Interesting, I finally understand why the crown prince fell in love with her. Chief Lu, Mu Chichi is not as simple as she seems. His secretary replied. Then let's look for the jewelry. I want to give Zixin a surprise too. Yes, Chief. In fact, Mu Chichi was not without doubts even after she left the Lu family. Wasn't it strange that she suddenly changed her attitude when she was unhappy to see her 2 days ago? Therefore, when she got home, Mu Chichi quickly found Xing Xiao and climbed onto his thighs to interrogate him. Did you contact that young master of the Lu family behind my back? Xing Xiao was unmoved. Did he give you the green light? Was it you? Muchichi tugged at his ears and shook him. Was it you? Only you would dare to twist my ears like that. Sheng Xiao shielded Muchichi, not letting her fall off his thighs. Can't you let me rely on myself? At most I'll spend twice as much time, but I'll always be able to do it. If you do this, it'll really become your homework this time. I'm just giving you a chance. I might not help you even if you beg me later. Sheng Xiao said, pressing down on his little one. Chapter 291. That's a promise. You're not allowed to interfere from now on. Whoever does is a pig. Muchichi clung onto Sheng Xiao's shoulder and made a promise. Sheng Xiao couldn't help leaning back and looking at Muchichi with a half-smile. Aren't you the pig I'm rearing? How is fourth sister doing? It's almost the engagement ceremony. Will she be all right? You should ask Jing Yun about that. Sheng Xiao held her down so that she wouldn't move, tidied up the documents in front of him, picked her up and walked to the bedroom. There was only one night left. How could Xing Minghui not be anxious? Over the last few days she had been making love with this man every day. Wasn't it to change his mind? However, this man until now did not move and she was already anxious. Well, if you don't explain things to Grandpa tonight, I'll give birth to the child when I get pregnant. You'll be in even more trouble when things get out of hand. I haven't used any contraceptives these days, you know. In fact, the Englishman was on the verge of breaking down too. He was obsessed with Xing Minghui. He had thought that he could calm Xing Minghui down first and correct the mistake after the engagement ceremony. But Xing Minghui clearly wanted herself to be the bride-to-be at the engagement ceremony tomorrow. And just as Xing Minghui said, she might be pregnant. If that was the case, he could change his bride. So, at 8 o'clock that night, Will suddenly called Grandpa Sheng and asked for a meeting. Half an hour later, Will's car arrived at Sheng Mansion, and he went straight to Grandpa Sheng's room. But 2 minutes later, Grandpa Sheng flew into a rage and barked at the servant, "Get Miss Minghui and Miss Minghui here." Sheng Minglan was still at the new company and completely unaware of what was happening when Grandpa Sheng suddenly summoned her to the Sheng family. Jing Yun followed her, fearing that she might have some problems and need help. When they arrived at Sheng Mansion, Sheng Minghui was already kneeling in Grandpa Sheng's study. "Grandpa, Minglan?" Grandpa Sheng found it hard to speak. "Sheng Minghui, tell your fourth sister yourself." Sheng Minghui glanced at the old man and then at Will before rising to her feet and telling Sheng Minglan, "Actually, the one who slept with Will that night was me, fourth sister." "What do you mean?" Sheng Minglan asked. "What do you want to do before I get engaged?" "Fourth sister, it's true. Because of this, Will and I love each other and want to be together. That's why he wants to break off his engagement with you and get engaged to me." Sheng Minglan took 2 steps back at that. "Say that again?" "Will wants to replace me as the betrothed bride for tomorrow's wedding. Actually, we've been together for the past few days. We really like each other. He's just afraid of hurting you, so he hasn't said anything. But we don't want to continue making mistakes, so Will came to Grandpa and laid his cards on the table. He doesn't want to make a huge mistake." At that, Sheng Minglan slapped Sheng Minghui. "To put it bluntly, aren't you the one who snatched my fiancé? What was the point of saying so many high-sounding words? Tc. Grandpa drugged my wine that day, and you're saying that you were the one with Will? What about me?" Sheng Minglan was furious. "Do you think getting engaged is like playing house or shopping? We've already sent out the wedding invitations and everyone knows that I'm getting engaged to Will tomorrow. And now you're trying to snatch my love away? Is this how you treat your sister, seventh sister? Minglan, I don't know where you were that night, but I'm sure that you weren't the one who slept with me. You can go for a checkup." Will had joined Sheng Minghui's side. "So, you adulterous couple, what do you want?" "Minglan, don't get so worked up." The old man tried to calm her. Sheng Minglan was shaking all over. "Grandpa, you're the one who wanted me to marry Will, and you're the one who drugged my wine. You're also the one who wanted me to get engaged to Will. Now, I've resigned myself to fate, but my sister stole my fiancé away. Wouldn't you be worked up if you were me? Tomorrow is the engagement ceremony. It's useless for you to be emotional now. I'm also angry at the two of them, but they've been hanging out together for the past few days. Who knows, they might have a child soon. If you two get engaged tomorrow, won't you be at a disadvantage?" "Grandpa, I won't agree to cancel the engagement. At most, we'll blow things up tomorrow and see who's in the right. Fourth sister, I'm begging you. I really like Will, and you won't be happy with him if you force yourself to be with him." "But Grandpa was the one who forced me in the beginning. He didn't even ask me if I'm willing. Anyway, I won't budge no matter what you say. The engagement ceremony will continue tomorrow. Minglan, you can't do that. Otherwise, the Sheng family's reputation would be ruined. The old man stopped her. Wouldn't people talk about the Sheng family if we changed the bride tomorrow? Sheng Minglan asked the old man in return, tears streaming down her face. I don't agree. Minglan, seventh sister, is shameful, but I'll find a better man for you if she takes your place and gets engaged to Will tomorrow. There's no need. Sheng Minglan yelled in despair. Grandpa, you're biased towards seventh sister. You think of everything for her, which is why you're sacrificing me. Fine, if that's the case, there's no point in me living. I'd rather die cleanly. With that, Sheng Minglan picked up a fruit knife beside her and slit her wrist. The old man was terrified when he saw it. Minglan, silly child. Don't come near me again. You can let seventh sister replace me tomorrow. But let me tell you, from today onwards, I'm no longer a member of the Sheng family. If you arrange another marriage for me, I will die in front of you. I mean it. The old man panicked. Put down the knife. I'll promise you anything. Promise me everything, including letting me continue the engagement tomorrow? Well, set me free if you can't, or don't save me. The old man knew very well that it was a huge blow to Sheng Minglan, which was why he had to relinquish his control over her. I'll listen to you. I won't force you again. I want you to swear it, or the Sheng family will end without descendants. Sheng Minglan raised her right hand determinedly. Chapter 292. Remember your vow today. Sheng Minglan finally put down her right hand after she heard that. Seventh sister, hurry up and get a doctor for your fourth sister. Grandpa Sheng quickly said when he saw that Sheng Minglan had relaxed. In fact, Sheng Minghui did not expect Sheng Minglan to have such a big reaction. So, she quickly went up to Sheng Minglan and tried to cover her wound. But, no need. Don't touch me. Sheng Minglan pushed her away. Don't touch me with your filthy hands. Sheng Minghui froze on the spot. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan covered her wound and took 2 steps back. I wish you two the best of luck. I wish that you two will live a long life together and die a horrible death. With that, Sheng Minglan glanced at Grandpa Sheng as if she was deeply hurt. Then she turned and left Grandpa Sheng's study. Minglan. Grandpa Sheng wanted to stop his daughter. But why would he stop Sheng Minglan? Her fiancé was stolen and her reputation was tarnished. As a grandfather, he could not stand beside Minglan because the engagement ceremony would be held tomorrow. Looking at the 2 culprits behind this incident, Grandpa Sheng trembled in anger. As you wish. Get out of my sight now. Grandpa, thank you for helping me. I know you love me the most. Grandpa Sheng had no choice. The 2 of them had already confessed their physical relationship. How could he stop them? Did he have to put Sheng Minglan in as well? However, no matter what, this matter had caused a great deal of harm to fourth sister. This was the first time he had felt such a deep sense of guilt towards his granddaughter. And that was exactly what Sheng Minglan wanted. Late at night, Sheng Minglan walked out of Grandpa Sheng's room. Jing Yun was shocked when he saw her hand covered in blood. He quickly went up to her. What happened? It's nothing. I cut myself. Let's go to Jing Ting first. No matter what, we have to stop the bleeding first. With that, Jing Yun dragged Sheng Minglan to his old room. He put her on the couch and went to get the first aid kit. Why did you hurt yourself? Jing Yun squatted in front of Sheng Minglan and cleaned her wound. Luckily it's not too deep. I just wanted to scare Grandpa. I know what I'm doing. Sheng Minglan explained. Jing Yun, you don't have to argue with Grandpa tomorrow. He has promised me that he will not interfere with my marriage or control my life. Don't say anything. I'll bandage it for you. To Jing Yun, the most important thing was her body. Everything else, no matter how excited she was, should not come at the cost of her body. Don't do it again. In that situation just now, I had no other choice. This was the only way for Grandpa to see my pain and determination. Jing Yun quickly bandaged her wound before pulling her up. Let's go to Jing Ting. Wait. Sheng Minglan suddenly remembered something and grabbed his hand instead. Do you remember? I told you that night that I told you and I would get together if I could get away from Grandpa. Jing Yun froze at her words and stared blankly at her. I thought you were drunk. I thought you were drunk. I'm not. I'm sober. Sheng Minglan said seriously. Jing Yun's expression was very unnatural. He still wanted to carefully protect his feelings for Sheng Minglan, but it was precisely because of his hesitation that Sheng Minglan suddenly stood on her tiptoes and kissed him on the cheek. This time Jing Yun was completely dumbfounded. It's fine. Let's go to Jingting first. I will wait for your answer. With that, Xing Minglan walked in front of Jing Yun. Jing Yun's reaction was slow. It was only after a long while that his face turned as red as a cooked lobster. The atmosphere was a little awkward. The two did not speak on the way to Jingting. Meanwhile, Xing Minghui had successfully snatched the Englishman from Xing Minglan's hands. Grandpa Xing had decided that she would replace Xing Minglan as the bride-to-be tomorrow. To prevent the guests from being embarrassed, Grandpa Xing had come up with a trick. He would say that the bride's name was wrong. It was not Xing Minglan but Xing Minghui. That way the guests could only accept it. But no one could have imagined that the Sheng family would change their bride-to-be at the last minute the night before the engagement ceremony. Mama Sheng could not help sighing when she heard about the drama before going to bed. Seven Sister is really bold. She even dared to snatch her brother-in-law. And she did such a shameless thing. What's worse is that we have to explain and smile at her tomorrow. I heard that fourth sister cut her wrists on the spot. I really don't know how disappointed and desperate she is. Papa Sheng waved his wife off to let her rest after listening to her nagging. Let the two brothers fight. It has nothing to do with us. The brothers that Papa Sheng was referring to were fourth sister and seventh sister's father. If that's the case, fourth sister would definitely not go to the engagement ceremony tomorrow. How sad. Perhaps everyone in the Sheng family thought so, especially Xing Minghui. When she saw how devastated Xing Minglan was last night, she was filled with the exhilaration of victory. What was hers now, and with that, her background would have a considerable boost, and she would have more confidence in the Sheng family in the future. So, after the thrilling experience in the study, she danced around in her room. Tomorrow's bride-to-be would be Xing Minghui. If that was the case, Xing Minglan would not appear tomorrow, would she? Although Grandpa Sheng had an excuse to the public who could not see the crux of it. If Xing Minglan showed up tomorrow, she would definitely become the target of sympathy. Because she was abandoned by the groom the day before the engagement ceremony. But who would care about Xing Minglan tomorrow? Now it was time for Xing Minghui to get lucky. When Jing Yun brought Xing Minglan to Jingting, Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi were already resting. Xing Xiao frowned when he saw Xing Minglan, who was injured. What happened? Xing Minglan sat on the sofa and told them everything about Xing Minglan stealing her man. Maybe what happened that night gave her the idea to beat me at my own game. That's why there was such a good show tonight. Xing Minglan probably doesn't know how much help she has given me. At this moment, seventh sister must be very pleased with herself because she stole your man from your hands and successfully humiliated you. She didn't have to confront Grandpa Sheng directly and even won his guilt. Xing Minglan doesn't know that you are the biggest winner. Xing Xiao took out a glass of red wine from the wine cabinet and poured it for Xing Minglan. Congratulations, fourth sister. I didn't expect things to turn out this way. I had already prepared for the worst. Xing Minglan breathed a sigh of relief. Xing Xiao smiled too. We achieved our goal without sacrificing a single person. We can continue to bide our time. Tomorrow let's focus on watching Xing Minglan's show. Chapter 293. After finishing the wine, Xing Xiao looked at Jing Yun's face and ears, which were all red. What did this guy do to his fourth sister? Since it's seventh sister's turn tomorrow, you should rest in Jingting tonight. And I will continue to sleep. You two do as you please. With that, Xing Xiao winked at Mu Qiqi. Understanding his meaning, Mu Qiqi nodded. Me too. I'm suddenly very sleepy. I'll leave this place to you. With that, the couple got up from the sofa and went upstairs one after another. They clearly wanted to give Xing Minglan and Jing Yun some alone time. Knowing their intentions, Xing Minglan blushed and glanced at Jing Yun. If that's the case, you should stay with me. Miss Minglan. Xing Minglan grabbed Jing Yun's arm and made him sit on the sofa. Then she leaned her head against him. If you really don't like me, you can push me away, Jing Yun. Xing Minglan smiled in satisfaction when she saw that Jing Yun did not move. She felt relieved. Jing Yun, do you think I'm old? Of course not. Jing Yun quickly replied. I don't have any power or background. I can't protect you and I don't want to bring trouble to you. Grandpa has promised not to care about me. At least, you can slowly think about how to protect me in the next 1 or 2 years. Xing Minglan's voice was very soft, but she mustered a lot of courage. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I want to be like Xing Xiao and be loyal to my heart. That way, no matter what happens in the future, at least I would work hard and have no regrets. Isn't the scariest thing in life to be afraid of failure before it even starts? Even if he knew that, Jing Yun was still afraid. because he knew that some things would be beyond redemption once they started. Xing Minglan sighed when she saw that Jing Yun did not move. "You're really frighteningly rational." Jing Yun let Xing Minglan lean on him, but that was all. He was completely holding back his emotions. After all, he had not thought about whether he should start this path of no return. Upstairs, Mu Chichi peeked at the scene downstairs and couldn't help feeling disappointed. Fourth sister is taking the initiative. What's Jing Yun doing? Afraid that the people downstairs would see them, Xing Xiao quickly dragged Mu Chichi into the room. "Why are you looking at other people? Don't tell me I haven't fed you enough?" "Xiao Xiao, why do you think Jing Yun is so stubborn?" Mu Chichi did not realize that her pajamas had already been taken off halfway. When she came to her senses, she realized that her earlobe had been bitten by the man. Since fourth sister has already thought it through, Jing Yun will accept his fate sooner or later. Why do you have to worry about him? That's true. Mu Chichi nodded, only to find that the man's lips were already moving downwards. Don't bite there. Both upstairs and downstairs were filled with warmth. Although Jing Yun did not respond for the entire night, he did not resist, did he? When the sky turned bright, fifth aunt came over and saw the mess in the living room. She knew that she had to prepare breakfast for 4 people today. Because Jing Yun was afraid that fifth aunt would see him, he carried the sleeping Xing Minglan to the guest room. Soon, Xing Xiao and Mu Chichi got up, and Jing Yun helped fifth aunt to prepare breakfast. "Fourth sister, are you not going to the engagement ceremony today?" Mu Chichi asked Jing Yun when she saw that Xing Minglan had not gotten up. "Why not? Of course I'm going." Xing Xiao smiled. "How can I miss such a good show? I'll call her." Jing Yun put down the cutlery and said quickly. At the same time in the Xing family, Xing Minglan's belongings had been sent to Xing Minghui's room. Both of them had similar figures, so there was no problem with the dress. Even the ceremony was the same. The only thing that made people uncomfortable was the name on the invitation. Some people in the Xing family only got the news on the second day. The bride had been changed just like that. Seventh sister's parents could not control their daughter at all. Because Grandpa Sheng had been taking care of her, they found it ridiculous that something like this happened. But they could not do anything about it. "Xiao Qin, you are still in charge of the engagement ceremony today. Don't make any trouble." Grandpa Sheng had woken up early in the morning and was getting dressed up. Mama Sheng was not willing to take over this responsibility. Seventh sister had gotten what she wanted, but what about fourth sister? "I know you feel sorry for fourth sister. But since it has happened, we can only think of a way to make up for it. Fourth sister will not be at the engagement ceremony today, will she?" Mama Sheng was worried about Xing Minglan's mood. Who could accept her fiancé being snatched away by her sister? "She should be with your baby son. Instead of worrying about fourth sister, you should worry about eighth sister. Will he make trouble at the engagement ceremony?" Xing Xiao make trouble? It was impossible. To ensure that nothing bad would happen at the ceremony, Mama Sheng called Xing Xiao in advance. No matter what he was going to do, as a mother, she had to be mentally prepared. But when Xing Xiao heard Mama Sheng's worry, he laughed out loud. "Mom, you're thinking too much. I won't do anything. After all, the guests here are not blind. It's enough for seventh sister to worry about. Why should I do anything unnecessary? Is fourth sister in a good mood?" "It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad," Xing Xiao answered ambiguously. "Then you should send someone to take good care of her today, so that she won't be sad." Xing Xiao raised his eyebrows. Did his mother think that Xing Minglan would not attend the ceremony? Moreover, Xing Minglan did not need anyone to take care of her. After getting rid of Grandpa Sheng's control, she had a new life. She was in a good mood. Sad. Forget about it. But Xing Xiao did not tell Mama Sheng about this. He was waiting for Xing Minglan to show up and surprise everyone. Thinking of this, Xing Xiao's smile brightened. Because there would be a good show today. Because of this, he had to remind Mu Chichi. Hurry up and pack up. We're going to leave now. Your grandpa will attend the ceremony today. Don't you miss him?" "Of course I miss him." Mu Chichi had already changed into a silver A-line dress from Chanel's haute couture collection. There was a black satin ribbon tied into a bow around her waist. Mu Chichi looked especially ethereal when she wore it. Xing Xiao draped a warm coat over her, and she looked even more delicate and lovely. "Where are fourth sister and the others?" "They will leave a little later." Xing Xiao smiled playfully. He let the little one hold his arm and they walked out of Jingting together. Chapter 294. In fact, the guests who had arrived early had already raised their questions. It was Xing Minglan on the invitation card. How did the bride become Xing Minghui? Especially the poster at the entrance of the hotel. It was obviously photoshopped. It was so fake. What's going on? Is the Sheng family messing with us? The bride-to-be was Xing Minglan yesterday. How did she become Xing Minghui all of a sudden? Well, the guests had their questions. But they could not ask Grandpa Xing alone. Sheng Zhao's engagement was already a good show. Could it be that the Sheng family's wedding this time would be even more exciting? Everyone had questions, or rather, it should be said that the guests all had questions. They really wanted to know why the bride had changed overnight. They just wanted to see if the old man would come out to explain. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi arrived at the venue. It was different from their engagement ceremony. This time, Grandpa Xing was trying his best to make it grand. So, it was even more extravagant than the ceremony on the lawn. Although the ceremony was held indoors, the hall that could accommodate 1,000 people was decorated like a vast starry sky. It was indeed stunning. Grandpa Xing did not expect Xing Xiao to entertain the guests. But he still asked him, "How is your fourth sister now? Since you have hurt her, why do you ask?" Xing Xiao would not give him an answer so easily. Seventh sister did go overboard in this matter, but no matter what, I have to wait until the engagement ceremony is over before I settle the score with her. You don't have to look at me like that. I will not do anything out of line today. Xing Xiao knew that Grandpa Xing was afraid that he would stand up for Xing Minglan. But fourth sister would come today. So he would not be needed. Where is Qiqi? She is with Grandpa Shen. Let her entertain her. Grandpa Xing snorted. Then he stopped holding Xing Xiao. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi was sitting beside Grandpa Shen. She was happy when she saw Grandpa and second aunt's family. I haven't seen you for a while. How is everyone? Where is Dad? Your father is recovering now. He has improved a lot. Grandpa Shen said happily. But little Seven, didn't you say that fourth sister is getting engaged today? How did she become seventh brother? Huang Yu couldn't help but start gossiping. How did the bride change overnight? Second aunt, it's a long story. Mu Qiqi explained to Huang Yu softly. This incident happened last night? Huang Yu listened to the gossip and suddenly understood. She was angry too. This Xing Minghui is so shameless. She snatched someone else's fiancé the night before the engagement. No wonder Grandpa Xing's face is so ugly today. We can talk about this in private. Of course. If I tell others, wouldn't I be giving you trouble? Now, Huang Yu could understand the ways of the world. She knew that it would be difficult to deal with Mu Qiqi in her in-laws' home. Anyway, let's just wait and watch the show today. At 11 o'clock in the morning, a pair of newlyweds appeared in the venue of the engagement banquet. When the guests saw that the bride-to-be was really seventh sister and not fourth sister, they were immediately shocked. Old Sheng began to explain to the guests. I'm really sorry. Someone made a mistake in the name on the invitation. I asked fourth sister to help me prepare for the ceremony, but someone messed it up. When the invitation was sent out, I only realized that I've made a mistake. I'm really sorry for embarrassing myself. Since it was a mistake, why didn't Xing Minglan appear? After listening to the explanation, the guests reluctantly accepted it. Which company did this? Old Xing, you have to find trouble with them. That's right, it's not a mistake at all. It's just a last-minute change. My good friend told me that Xing Minglan was the one who went to make the gown. Even if she was helping to organize the engagement ceremony, she didn't have to help to try on the gown, did she? Someone continued to whisper. Sai, can you ask your friend to find out more about the inside story? It's not easy to find out about other people's private affairs. But I can guarantee that there's something fishy going on. Otherwise, why didn't Xing Minglan appear? Maybe the younger sister stole the older sister's fiancé. The two young ladies stood aside and gossiped. But Xing Minghui, who was not far away, heard it. With her temper, how could she tolerate it? She walked up to them and said, What were you talking about just now? Do I need to steal someone else's fiancé with my status? This engagement was mine from the beginning. Fourth sister was just helping me. Why are you being so fierce? The two young guests were not ordinary people. Everyone is talking about you behind your back. It's not just the two of us. What kind of family is the Sheng family? How could they make a mistake with the invitation? Don't tease me. You're the one who deceived yourself. Isn't it obvious? Isn't it because you stole someone else's fiancé during the engagement ceremony? Then you've really misunderstood. Xing Minghui wanted them to stop talking. She whispered to them, Why can't it be my fourth sister who did something wrong? It's only natural that outsiders don't know about the unsightly things. If not, why would the bride be changed so easily? The two young ladies were shocked when they heard that. How would they know that Xing Minghui was so despicable? Not only did she steal someone else's fiancé, she even made a false accusation under such circumstances. Soon, the news of Xing Minglan's indecent lifestyle spread among the guests. Everyone seemed to understand that the reason for the sudden change of bride was not necessarily because of Xing Minghui. It could also be because of Xing Minglan. Finally, the gossip behind Xing Minghui's back lessened a little, because everyone was targeting Xing Minglan. Seeing that everyone had misunderstood Xing Minglan, Xing Minghui did not care. Today was her big day. So what if she let fourth sister take the blame? However, when the Shin family heard about it, especially Huang Yu, her face turned pale. I'm convinced. Seventh sister is really good at making things up. Suddenly, Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao seriously. This trash. She's still slandering fourth sister. She's really not afraid of making things worse. Then let's make it worse. Xing Xiao looked like he was watching a drama. But the Sheng family's reputation. What reputation do we have if she did such a shameful thing? Xing Xiao did not care about that. Since Xing Minghui did it, she must pay the price. Who would want to take advantage of such a good thing? Let's wait for fourth sister to come. Mu Qiqi held Xing Xiao's hand and said, gossip is a fearful thing. Their saliva could drown fourth sister. Seventh sister is really ruthless. She did not even give fourth sister a chance to live. Does Grandpa Shin know about it? Look at him. I think he doesn't know about it. Xing Xiao pointed his chin at Grandpa Shin, who was still welcoming the guests. When will fourth sister come? Chapter 295. Xing Minglan would arrive eventually. But she would arrive just before the engagement ceremony. After Xing Minghui spread the rumors about Xing Minglan, she felt more confident standing beside Will. After all, she would feel guilty when people were gossiping about her behind her back. Soon the rumor reached Grandpa Xing's ears. His face changed when he heard about it. He glared at Xing Minghui fiercely. If there were not so many guests, he would have turned around and left right away. Xing Minghui had snatched fourth sister's fiancé. He thought that she would feel guilty and be more respectful to fourth sister in the future. But he did not expect that she would treat her own sister like this. Grandpa, what's wrong? Xing Minghui asked Grandpa Xing casually when she saw his expression change. Grandpa Xing did not say anything. He turned around and went to the guest area. Because Xing Minghui had predicted that Grandpa Xing would not fall out with her on the spot. And when the ceremony was over, she would find an excuse to cover it up. She knew very well where Grandpa Xing's weakness was. She was bullying Xing Minghui because she would not come today. And no one could speak for Xing Minglan. How could she explain in such an occasion? But just when Xing Minghui was secretly delighted, she saw Xing Minglan appearing at the entrance of the hotel. She was wearing a long black dress. Xing Minglan seemed to have done it on purpose. She was wearing a white dress, while Xing Minglan was wearing a long black dress. She was not as gentle as she used to be. She had changed her aura. Xing Minglan did not look like the obedient fourth sister in the Sheng family. Now Xing Minglan and Xing Minghui looked like an angel and a demon in real life. Fourth sister is here. Mu Qiqi was surprised by Xing Minglan's queen aura when she saw her. She was wearing a long black dress and had a bright red lipstick. She looked very powerful. And the guests did not know how the show would turn out when they saw Xing Minglan. The wound on Xing Minglan's wrist was still very obvious. Although she had wrapped it with black gauze, the cut could still be seen. Wouldn't it be more interesting? Xing Minghui had never thought that Xing Minglan could be so magnanimous. She dared to come to the engagement ceremony. Will and old Xing were equally stunned when they saw Xing Minglan. Then Mama Xing walked to Xing Minglan and pulled her aside. Minglan, you, Aunt, I'm fine. Xing Minglan said to her casually. Since it's a big matter for the Xing family, how can I not be there? But, now the whole hall was talking about Xing Minglan's private life and her engagement was broken off. It would have been fine if she was not here and could not hear it. But now that she was here, those rumors would definitely reach her ears. Wouldn't that hurt her even more? Fourth bro, actually, everyone understands. You don't have to come all the way here. Aunt, I'm not as weak as you think. After Xing Minglan told Mama Sheng, she walked up to Grandpa Sheng and Xing Minghui as if nothing had happened. Congratulations, seventh sister. Xing Minghui's palms were sweating. After all, she had dared to spread the rumor because Xing Minglan was not around. But now, Xing Minglan was right in front of her. Thank you, fourth sister. Sheng Minghui's face looked terrible. Fourth sister, you can rest at home. Grandpa won't force you to attend. Since it's seventh sister's engagement ceremony, wouldn't it be more convincing for me as her sister to help her explain that the invitation was printed with the wrong name? But now it was no longer about the invitation. Grandpa Sheng's face looked terrible too. The engagement ceremony is about to start. We'll talk later. You go and look for Sheng Xiao. Grandpa Sheng did not let her entertain the guests but asked her to look for Sheng Xiao? What kind of logic was that? Sheng Minglan glanced at Sheng Minghui and nodded. Okay, I'll go now. In fact, Sheng Minglan was very nervous throughout the whole process. She was afraid that Sheng Minglan would find out about her spreading the rumor. At that moment, there was only one thought in her mind. And that was for the engagement ceremony to start as soon as possible. Sheng Minglan walked up to Sheng Minglan and asked her in confusion, "What's wrong, seventh sister? You look like a mouse seeing a cat." "Of course you did something shameful again." Sheng Xiao answered for Sheng Qiqi slowly. "What do you mean?" "The guests suspect that she stole your fiancé. But she said that you have a bad sex life in order to clear her name. So the engagement was cancelled." Mu Qiqi explained to Sheng Xiao. "Now all the guests think that you were caught in the act by that Englishman. So the engagement was cancelled." Sheng Minglan smiled when she heard what Mu Qiqi said. "No wonder she was sweating when she looked at me just now. No wonder Grandpa asked me to come to you instead of greeting the guests. Fourth sister, what are you going to do? It's true that it's her engagement ceremony today. But I'm not that magnanimous to put up with her groundless slander. Just wait and see." Sheng Minglan did not show her anger immediately. She did not tell Mu Qiqi and the others what she was going to do. Sometimes when people were extremely angry, they would think of 1,000 ways to take revenge. And now she was thinking about what kind of price she should make seventh sister pay. Before the engagement ceremony started, Grandpa Sheng arranged for the guests to enter the hall. Then he pulled Sheng Minglan aside and said, "Fourth sister, what do you want to say, Grandpa? Are you asking me to put up with it for the sake of the big picture?" Sheng Minglan asked. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath and said helplessly, "Just put up with it until tonight." Sheng Minglan did not say anything. She walked past Grandpa Sheng and waited until their backs were against each other. Then she said, "Grandpa, this is the second time you choose to sacrifice me. Minglan, do you think I will believe you?" Grandpa Sheng was stunned. But when he turned around, Sheng Minglan had already disappeared from his sight. Grandpa Sheng felt very sad. He felt that he owed fourth sister a lot. More importantly, he did not know what fourth sister was going to do next. So he could only be on high alert. Even if this matter was exposed in the end, it was Sheng Minglan's fault. Since she had gotten the sweetness, she should know when to stop. But unexpectedly, she dared to challenge Sheng Minglan's bottom line again and again. It seemed that today's engagement ceremony would not be easy. Chapter 296. The security guard was stunned. If he had known that he would have locked her up, wouldn't it have been better to trap her at home? Perhaps none of them expected that Sheng Minglan would really show up. "Grandpa, the engagement ceremony is about to begin. Fourth sister, do you know what you have done?" Grandpa Sheng glared at Sheng Minghui. "I really didn't know that you could be so cruel. Your sister's fiancé was stolen by you. And what about you? You are spreading rumors about her everywhere." "I had no choice." Sheng Minghui quickly admitted defeat. "Grandpa, look, it's my big day today. But all the guests are talking about me. I just wanted to divert their attention. And I didn't say anything bad about fourth sister." Before the ceremony began, they were talking in the bride-to-be's lounge. You know that gossip is a fearful thing. Even a white lie might be turned into a black one. Didn't you do it on purpose? "Grandpa, even if you want to punish me, can you wait until after the ceremony is over?" And when the ceremony was over, she would use her pregnancy as an excuse to avoid physical punishment from Grandpa Sheng. She would only be lectured verbally. She had heard it since she was young. So, there was nothing to be afraid of. Grandpa Sheng didn't say anything else. He walked out of the lounge. But Sheng Minglan came in. When their eyes met, Sheng Minghui felt a little awkward. "Fourth sister, why aren't you here? Don't you know very well why I'm here?" Sheng Minglan asked Sheng Minghui calmly. "Fourth sister, I don't understand what you mean. If I didn't come today, were you going to let me take the blame for this?" Sheng Minglan continued to ask Sheng Minghui. "How about this? I won't ask for too much. After the engagement ceremony is over, you can clarify this matter and I won't pursue it anymore. Otherwise, I don't know what I will do." Fourth sister, please forgive me this time. I really didn't do it on purpose. Don't try to trick me. I've been tricked by you too many times. Xing Minglan was unmoved. You have two choices. Either you clarify it or none of us will have a good time. Xing Minghui was afraid. She could only calm Xing Minglan down. Fourth sister, don't be so agitated. I understand what you mean. I promise you. But the ceremony is about to start. I'll go there first. Having said that, Xing Minghui picked up her gown and walked out of the lounge. At the same time, she closed the door behind her. After that, she had someone guard the lounge to prevent Xing Minglan from coming out. In fact, it was Grandpa Sheng's idea. But would it be better to just close her off? It wasn't like she didn't bring her phone with her. It's not like this is some sealed space. Everything can be settled with just a call from Jing Yun, isn't it? Meanwhile, in the banquet hall, the engagement ceremony was about to begin. Mu Qiqi was a little worried when she saw that Xing Minglan had gone to the washroom for a long time. But Xing Xiao held her down. Jing Yun is protecting fourth sister. What does that have to do with you? I'm just worried that seventh sister will find a way to trap fourth sister. If you could think of that, why wouldn't fourth sister? Xing Xiao retorted. Mu Qiqi glared at him and pinched his palm. Is it fun to tease me? On the stage, the MC was already in position. And the newlyweds walked to the center of the stage. All the lights in the hall shone on the newlyweds. When the MC was about to read the vows, a black figure appeared in the long aisle. All the guests saw her walking straight to the newlyweds. Then she grabbed Xing Minghui with one hand and gave her a loud slap with the other. All the guests were stunned. Meanwhile, old Xing shuddered all over. What was meant to come would come. You shameless thing. Not only did you steal my fiancé on the night before the engagement, you even shamelessly spread rumors that I'm a promiscuous person. Don't think that I have to give in to you just because you are my sister. Everyone was stunned. Especially Xing Minghui herself. She quickly looked at Grandpa Sheng, who was sitting at the guest table. Her expression was pleading for help. Grandpa Sheng wanted to look at the big picture. He stood up. But when he opened his mouth, Xing Minglan interrupted him. She stole my fiancée last night. Grandpa, you are biased towards her. Fine. I don't want this engagement anymore. Today I came to the hall and found out that this bitch spread rumors about me. But you are still biased towards her. Do you want me to let her go this time? But she locked me in the lounge so that I wouldn't stop her from getting engaged. I'm not human if I keep tolerating her. Xing Minghui, I don't have to give in to you every time. Not today, not in the future. I'll give this scumbag to you. You don't have to thank me, but you stole him from me. You better get this straight. If there's a next time and you use me as your scapegoat, I'll still do what I did today and ruin your reputation. With those words, Xing Minglan looked at Grandpa Sheng. It doesn't matter if you acknowledge me as your granddaughter. Because in my heart, you're already dead. And with that series of face-slapping moves, Xing Minglan walked down the stage in front of all the guests. She held her head high and puffed out her chest. Her aura was so powerful that the guests had their fill of a good show. What did her actions mean? Nothing else. She was no longer a member of the Sheng family. Because of Grandpa Sheng's coercion, she had no choice but to stay in the Sheng family. That was why she simply gave up everything and did not care about anything. It was a life-and-death struggle for both sides. Grandpa Sheng was powerless to change anything. Because he had hurt Xing Minglan too much. He knew very well that this granddaughter of his really hated the Sheng family. She was no longer willing to consider herself a member of the Sheng family or his granddaughter. Hence the scene suddenly froze. Xing Xiao, however, was clapping. The guests followed suit. Of course, their applause was not for Xing Minghui but for Xing Minglan. Chairman Sheng, do you want to continue? The MC asked Grandpa Sheng after a long pause. Grandpa Sheng was strong enough. He simply waved his hand as if nothing had happened. Let's continue. However, everyone now knew how the newlyweds on the stage had betrayed their sister, and even rubbed salt into her wound. Blessing her? Was Xing Minghui worthy? She was such a despicable woman. She had stolen someone else's fiancé. She should have some self-awareness. She even tried to shift the blame to someone else at the engagement party. How shameful was she? You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.